Hello, and welcome to the penultimate episode for this season of Water. I'm sure that things can only go well in this episode, and that Wilfred will not show up or anything. Um, she said sarcastically. Anyways, I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we dive into all the action, though, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves and their characters. I'll say a quick bit about sponsors and explain sort of the recap, and then we'll dive in. So starting with the top left, unfortunately Alex couldn't make it tonight, but definitely go give them a follow at Canned Chaos Art on Twitter. They're super cool, and you should follow them. And then hopping down to Zan, tell us a little bit about TC and yourself.
Yeah, I'm Zan. I'm a professional content creator and DM for D&D for 5e World of Darkness, powered by the Apocalypse, and a whole bunch of other great systems out there. You can also find me on my Twitch channel where I do games. I'm about to start doing some tabletop stuff once I get just a half second to breathe. And you can also find me over on Polished Cryptids and Tactics channels at various times and places. And I am going to be playing TC tonight, who is a environmental terrorist with a heart of gold. Just really concerned with making sure that everybody stays safe here and that they can get off, and that he doesn't have to fucking go with them when they leave, because he has blown a few things up and is not really excited about finishing up jail sentence.
Yeah, understandable. Next we've got Pat. Tell us a little about Owen and yourself.
Hi, I'm Pat. I'm a Tactric on Twitter and Twitch and places online. I also play games and things like here, and also on Polished Cryptids channel, and also on my channel. So all of those same things. I'm playing Owen. Owen was a cook at one point, is still technically a cook among other alien-infested robot-y things now. He does not have a heart of gold. He's got a heart of, I don't know, not always coal, but not.
It's like a heart of aluminum.
Yeah. Yeah. And he does not like our robot friend that is hanging. I feel like that was the main thing we covered last week. Not a fan of the philosopher.
Yeah.
Or not even last week. Whenever we played last.
2 weeks ago, yeah. All right. Next, we've got Econorlax. Tell us a little bit about Allison and yourself.
Hello, I'm Econorlax, and I play TTRPGs with whoever of the wonderful people of Twitch will have me. And between games, if my anxiety and dysfunction allow me, I think a little with various things in the interwebs, Twitch included. Maybe some will turn out to be something someday. And my character today is Alison, Bosco certified child care specialist. She's a tiny young woman, very much a people person. She tried to moonlight as counselor for this Camp Mayhem here, but, well, Owen might be a big child, but he's not an actual child, and it's harder to make him behave. Well, at least she's good with the one kid in the group. Happy Kid is a happy Alison, and turning Susie's picture gallery into data folder made her happy. Oh, and as she has seen those pictures now, she doesn't think the alien lampreys are scary anymore, in comparison, of course, because, well, they are still quite scary, like 6 or 7. But this damn world is rated up to 100, not to 10.
Oh, fantastic. And then last but not least, Jay, tell us a little bit about Tamsin and yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay, or Alien Jays. I'm a writer, role player, and a game dev. You can find me on Twitter and itch.io at Alien Jays. And I'll mention it kind of at the end too, but tomorrow is the deadline for applications for Afterburner. After about probably 6 p.m. sometime tomorrow. I haven't really decided. It's kind of it'll stretch. And after that, I'll actually be doing the grouping and the play testing for those. So if you're interested in playing a game where you get to go fast, be ridiculous, and roll a couple of dice now and then, that is definitely something to check out. So check that out on Twitter. I am playing Tamsin tonight, or Dr. Olentz, as she was once called in the professional field. she is a astrophysicist who has rapidly become group decider, who has also rapidly become I don't want to be group decider anymore, and is now kind of just an ornerous old math lady on the island, it seems. So she's looking forward to saving the people in the cryopods and figuring out how to stop Wilfred and his ilk from killing them all before they can get off the planet. And hopefully, somewhere in there, she'll find a way to go along with most of the people on the island.
Hopefully so. All right, and that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various different things that I do, many of which are tabletop related. You can find all my links at my link tree there in chat. And then a quick note on sponsors. Fundamental RPG, which is the system this game was built on, looks a lot like this. You can find your copy on Amazon. There's a link there in chat, or if you're watching this on the Fantasy Network later, you can find it on Amazon. Just search for Fundamental RPG or Raven Evermore, and it should pop right up. And then you can get a PDF copy if you don't need the physical book at coffee.com/raven/shop. Like it says in the bottom left-hand corner, just add /shop to the end of that. And then you can also find free character sheets there as well, both printable and form-fillable PDF versions of the character sheet. And then secondly, Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life. It's apparel and accessories with a tabletop theme. You can find that at the same place at the Coffee website. So that's sponsors out of the way. And then I play all the various sea creatures and environmental hazards in this game, as well as Luna Pendergast, who is a theoretical engineer and who has managed to make a distillery in the time skip that we're having here. So from between last session and this one, in game terms, we've essentially fast forwarded a month. And that gave the crew, or survivors rather, time to gather materials, find blueprints, and build some things for these last 2 episodes. And if I remember right, I had the list open and now I've lost it. Just finding it in our Discord here real quick. Okay, so they got 6 standard O2 tanks, 1 propulsion cannon, 6 beds, I think 8 grow beds. I think we said you wouldn't need that many, but you can have that many if you want them because they're easy to build. A couple of flashlights, a couple of batteries, a scanner, a med pack, fabricator, a spyglass, 6 sets of new clothing, 4 solar panels, 1 mobile vehicle bay, 1 moon pool, 1 of the large subs, 3 of the TUMs, which I forget what exactly the acronym was for, but it's like underwater mech suit or something like that. And all of those have a grappling arm, all 3 of those. And then 2 base batteries. And I think that was all of the big stuff that they were able to build over that month period of time. But I know there were also some personal projects that people were working on. Luna's was the still, in which she's got a lot of root vegetable vodka and some sort of fermented melon liqueur from the various plants and fruits that have been available. They don't taste great, but they're high in alcohol content and they don't taste horrible, so it seems to be enough for Luna, and there's plenty for everyone.
Would Luna have been amiable to TC, talking her into having a special bottle, a real special bottle that maybe some poor hapless insects had ended their life in?
I'm so confused.
Some of the booze with some crushed cricket in it.
Oh, the
hallucinogenic crickets? Yeah.
Hallucinogenic, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, probably.
Ooh.
Probably. You can have some hallucinogenic booze as a treat.
It's basically absinthe. That's all I'm going for. Just absinthe.
Okay.
Cricket
And then,
absinthe.
in addition to all of these things, I think you all had some personal projects that you wanted to work on as well. So TC, we'll start with you. Aside from the special booze, what does TC work on?
Yeah, so TC's personal projects are mostly about doing some basic things around the island to improve the long-term survivability and like ease of doing modifications and things in the future. So his first project is going to be to kind of trick out the piss house, for lack of a better terminology, and actually get it a little bit more functional as a workshop, and try to get some kind of air filtration system with the stones to try to keep it, smelling as well as it can smell in there. Using that for his kind of some of the projects and things that he's working on, just like making sure that space is good, and then moving out from there. He'll after that's completed, he'll be working on securing the teleportation room into kind of a bunker, and probably maybe trying to get Allison's opinion on what would be the important things to have comfort-wise in a bug-out bag, because he knows what needs to be in there to survive, but comfort might be a little bit of a different story. So if Allison's got any insight for that, TC would be happy to listen. Additionally, he is going to kind of build a couple of game cameras to try to start taking surveillance around the island, and with the help of Susie, establish kind of a neutral ground for them to leave untampered with edible food out in a place that has been marked with the scent of the people who live there. So a neutral zone that is associated with a reward and our scent, to try to kind of establish diplomatic relationships. And one of the game cameras is there. One of them's like over on the fridge to keep a track of things, and one of them's somewhere else or something like that. And you already hit the wet docks, right?
Yeah, you've
Okay.
got that as well. A wet dock
Cool.
for the submarine.
Yeah, I mean, a fixed up piss house, some bug out bags, surveillance, and a little bit of a perimeter. Like, not really fencing, because fencing's not a great idea. Just something to be aware if folks come in, and
Yeah, you're able to
make it
rig
the
up
bunker.
something. The neutral spot could probably be the community center building, the one that Lyle's been staying in with
Okay.
Crackers, because it's big enough. So either like just inside of that or just outside of it.
Yeah, I would probably do like just outside of it, slightly in the woods, and then gradually moving it more into the clearing.
Okay. Yeah. The Rylands take some of the food, some of the time, but not. They don't seem reliant on it by any means, but they're not avoiding it either.
Okay.
And then
Is there does it seem on the game cameras there, does it seem to be the same Rylan, or is there not a distinguishable difference between them?
they have pretty distinguishing features and body language and things like that. It's not always the same. Not always the same person that comes up and grabs it.
Okay.
How many have we seen? Sorry to interject. More or less.
I'm gonna roll for that. 6 different Rylands have come and retrieved food from that spot. And some of them also left some things for you as well. So there's like a couple of furs that look like they came off of like a really furry monkey, sort of. Some type of creature like that. And a couple of like lizard hides. So it's like lizard leather essentially.
Awesome. So I'm gonna use one of those for a blanket because that's a great way to not stick out, is to smell like the local fauna. I'm sure I'm all by like 99.998% positive that Susie is gonna want to make some kind of gifts to return for them. So I'm not gonna step on her toes for that.
Okay.
I feel like that would be 100% Susie's area of expertise. So whatever Susie wants to return,
Okay.
TC will have no objections with. Was there any on the game cam by the fridge? Was there anyone opening from the cryopods, or any activity from people walking around in the scene that aren't associated with us?
Give me a sight roll. This is
Oh.
gonna kind of be just if you happen to be watching the camera at the right time.
They were kind of rigged to be just a motion sensitive camera, like a game camera, like no
that's
real
right,
way
motion.
to like,
Gotcha,
because we
gotcha.
didn't want them to be able to connect us directly, so just kind of portable, take it, bring it back, check it, take it and replace it.
We'll still do a sight check though. But I'll make the
Curses.
I'll make the DC for TC easier.
Okay. Would you say it's an easy peasy TC DC?
Yes, I would.
All right, cool. 24.
24? Yeah, that's good enough. So, yeah, you do notice there's some movement at the fridge. There's like sort of a pontoon boat that comes up.
Mhm.
And there's a couple people on the boat. You don't recognize any of them. But they're clearly from the big ship whose name I'm drawing a blank on now. I can't remember what we had named the big ship, because we haven't really referenced it in a while. But they're from the crew that survived, and they kind of look at the fridge, look a little confused, and then sort of drive off.
Okay. Cool. Great to know.
That happens like towards the end of that month period.
Okay, and I've TC is keeping no secrets about anything.
Okay.
Everything that he's doing is letting everybody know that the Rylands are dropping off gifts, doing all that stuff. Everybody knows. TC would have encouraged everyone to have a bug out bag at this point and know like how to secure the kind of bunker area in the teleporter, like just the basic stuff to close the doors, lock it, make sure everything is as tight as it can be in there.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I think that's probably it. I mean, he's got a pretty busy month.
Okay. Then we'll hop over to Owen. What personal project have you worked on this month?
Oh, I'm I think trying to remember. I know one of the things I wanted to work on was trying to find a way to weaponize the feel-good energy.
Yeah. I can definitely, because that was one I think we said is going to require some rolling.
I figured it might.
So if you'd like, let me get I'll let you choose mechanical or tech engineering, because it kind of falls under both. Roll that with advantage.
Okay. Let's go mechanical.
Okay.
20 total.
So over the course of the month, I'd say you've tried a few different things, none of which have actually worked. But you've essentially figured out that what you're going to have to do is just duplicate the bridge, but smaller, and you're going to have to know how to make the material that the bridge is made out of, which you probably could find out if you wanted to go talk to the philosopher.
Your favorite person on the island.
No, I'm sure not. It's Tamsin, I think had expressed some interest in this project with me. So if she was up for that, Tamsin is welcome to go down that route, but I'm absolutely not.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Tamsin would. If you asked her to, she would be your proxy.
And then Tamsin, if you want to roll either of those skills as well with
Sure.
advantage, that might get things a little further along.
Sorry, that was tech engineering or mechanical engineering?
Yeah,
Okay.
either one.
Oh, right. I forgot the sheets were kind of different on this one. I'm so used to Animus where the tech and mech are by each other.
Yeah.
We'll do technical engineering.
Look at that.
A 38? Okay. So if Tamsin is willing to talk to the philosopher,
Mhm.
I'm going to say that you do get essentially the blueprint to make the metal stone hybrid material.
Okay.
Um,
Actually solves a lot of our
that,
problems.
yeah, that things are made out of. And you've kind of got a working drawing board kind of blueprint to try to miniaturize the bridge as like it'd be like a new project. But to make the material, it's basically it's the same as making titanium. You just take soil from the planet and work it in there, so you don't have to worry about like that as an inventory thing.
Cool. Okay.
Whether it's like from the island or the ocean floor, it doesn't really matter.
Nice. All right. Yeah, that actually does solve a few things for Tamsin as well, in terms of knowing that and then using that in terms of connecting to the grid. So cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, she would share that with Owen and everyone, just saying like, hey, we can actually make this stuff now. So we're one step closer to probably getting off the island because we'll probably need this stuff.
And the material is it's not quite as malleable, I guess, is a word, as titanium. So it's more suited for structure building than like, say, a vehicle or something like that. It doesn't really flex, but it is really, really durable. So
Okay.
takes a lot to break it, but it also doesn't have any kind of bend.
So it's very rigid. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But it has a lot of really cool uses that you can figure out with it.
I think if TC is renovating his house of some sort, I think
Sorry, the
Tamsin
what?
would. I think Tamsin would recommend the use of this new material in TC's particular domicile full of products to help filter so that it doesn't, smell quite so much.
Yeah, no, great. 2C is not opposed to having it not smell terrible. That's not the intention. He doesn't want it to smell awful. It's just like, well,
could have fooled Tamsin, definitely. But yeah, she would say like, yeah, we can make you kind of a filter setup out of this now, as opposed to having to boil it.
he will weep with joy. Just like it's like the single solitary tear. Just thank you.
Oh,
Of course, yeah, it's for the benefit of all. And she kind of wrinkles her nose with a smile.
All right. And then Allison, any personal projects for you over the course of that month?
It's a very busy month, so Alison tries to help anybody and everybody as much as she can, because actually she doesn't have a lot of her own stuff to do. Well, she wanted to have some clothes, which also solves some problems with the hygiene and stuff. And while thinking that, she probably realized the healing part finally. Like, why we have no health problems with so poor hygiene, and well, apparently the stuff really boosts us immunologically and with healing and stuff. So probably she discovered that finally, and she's kind of sorry she can't really help TC with the feel good part of Bug Out Bad, because now she discovered that's really there's not much comfort on the island, on this planet. There's only survival. We have no mementos because they've burned with the ship. We just can increase our odds of survival, and that's all.
Okay. And
And
then-
well, what else? What do we forgot to mention? My question: is this alien material on average tougher than titanium?
Yeah, it's kind of like comparing, say, like bronze to iron, and titanium in this equation would be bronze. So it's stronger, but it's less flexible.
Okay, so I think we would like to reinforce doors to our teleport bunker with that.
Yeah, that would be really good. I will say it's also not much heavier than titanium, though, so it's not a perfect analogy, but in terms of rigidness and durability, that's kind of it.
Oh, I know what would she spend a lot of time on, though. That's not maybe a personal project, but the thing she would do. She would really spend a lot of time in the TAMS, familiarizing
okay.
with the controls, because that's something she has basics of from her training, and would TAMS cover her biggest shortcoming, lack of physical strength.
Okay.
So she's
Speaking
going
of
all
that-
Ripley on the Aliens movie.
Nice. Speaking of that, anybody that uses those, I do need like a discipline check just for your first time using it.
Oh God. Tamsin would definitely be using it. 'Cause
Even
she's-
if we're former Bosco employees.
Even then.
How long has it been
roll
since
for-
you've watched the training
Oh.
video?
Hey, I'm gonna burn one of those D6s on my roll.
Okay.
Not a bad
I
idea.
assume I can add my Bosco machine training.
Yeah, you can.
Are the Tums kind of like reserved in certain people's like garages or spots? Or
No,
are we
no.
all kind of using them?
I think you're group use.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of
Yeah.
course, Susie. I remember Susie having some opinions on that already.
Yeah.
she
well,
wanted to paint her in Macrogar pattern.
Oh,
Well, listen,
yeah.
she doesn't get her own Tums. She's already got her own scanner. It's-
And her own
She's got
knife.
her
Okay.
own knife.
yeah,
No.
this kid. Well, I mean, we all have our own knives.
Okay, well,
Plus
that's-
4, so 15 altogether.
15, okay.
Did I roll for mine yet? I don't think I did.
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
27.
27.
Okay. All right. So, TC and Owen, you're fine. You pretty much have things under control. Tamsin, as well. And then Allison, you managed to get a hold of, kind of get it together before you end up hurting yourself, but you realize after getting out of the Tums that it's sort of like a disassociation feeling. You feel invincible because you were just in a mech suit, and you feel stronger than you actually are. So it takes a little bit to adjust to like, oh yeah, I'm not in a mech suit anymore. I can't, punch through rocks or things like that. So, but you have that feeling, but you recognize it, and you're able to like get out of it, get out of that mode. It's kind of
Before
like if
I
you drive.
hurt myself. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you if you've ever driven really fast go-karts or something like that, and then try to drive a car and you realize, oh, I'm speeding, because it doesn't feel like I'm going that fast, that sort of thing. Or if you've played VR games and it just feel funky afterwards.
Is it like walking right after you get done like rollerblading for a little while?
Yeah, a lot like that. That sort of feeling. It's like
All right.
you're taking steps and you're like, why am I not just gliding on the floor? It's a very strange feeling. The rest of you also have that sensation, but it passes like within a few seconds. But the important part is none of you hurt yourselves, and you get acclimated to it pretty quickly.
Good to hear.
And then Tamsin, any projects that you're working on for the month?
I think the only projects that I really had in mind were obviously making binoculars. So that's kind of like the first couple of days she'll make those because she realizes this telescope stuff is not going to cut it by itself. And then I think when she has free time, she'll probably make an observatory up on the one of the peaks so that she can kind of get a larger view of the islands, have a safe place for her telescope to sit. Not something that like juts out, but something that kind of sits near the houses, or even on top of one of the houses, something like that. Just something she can stargaze from and not worry about light pollution, and also not worry about the glass shattering from storms or whatever. But yeah, okay. I don't think there's much other than working with Luna and whoever else on kind of methods, math, and everything else to get the fridge sorted and how we're going to get it back.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, thank you, I can relax. As well, looking into the power systems and figuring out a way we can tap into them safely.
Yeah. Where would you like to start with that?
Well, now that we've got the material, I think Tamsin would want to work on just running a current through it. Just really, really low level, like, hey, how do we measure how much like current this thing can take before it, I don't know, explodes or melts, just so we know like the upper ends. So okay. Probably that's where she'd start.
With the material, much like the titanium structures and everything, you can kind of choose, do I want this to just be a block of material, or do I want to have like a power conduit running through it?
Right.
There's not really like different blueprints for it, just
different like setups to it. Yeah. Okay.
So are you wanting to see how much current you can run through the conduit or the material itself?
The material itself. So say kind of roughly the size of like, because we were talking about making, I think during this, and you might have missed this, or Pat, we were talking about making a stun grenade effectively out of it. So something about that size.
That's
like
entirely what I had in mind.
Yeah, like a flashing strobe light.
Yeah, so something that's like, I'm trying to think like size-wise what that would look like.
Like water balloon size?
Yeah, like a decent size, like a palm-sized, fingers outstretched.
Okay. I'm totally seeing like the Tesla coil, the Tesla machine, the Tesla effect thing. The thing that I'm talking about that like Spencer's Gifts would always sell. The lightning ball.
Yeah. About that size. That's kind of roughly what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Like a wizard's crystal ball.
Yeah. Let's do a mechanical engineering check then.
Okie dokie. I'm not terrible at those. Although I'll roll a 4 anyway. 18.
Is that with advantage if Tamsin's using my workshop?
I could definitely.
I was gonna say you've got a lot of time, so yeah, go ahead and do that with advantage.
Okay. I will save my advantage from Patrick. Wow, really, dice today?
Okay.
Just
okay.
For my salad and everything.
Not terrible. So some good news, bad news. Where exactly were you doing this?
I think she's probably, if TC has a workshop, she's probably in there.
Okay.
Because that seems like the best place.
It's the Biz House.
Okay, it's probably not there.
This post filtration, it's fine. TC enjoys the company. Just that silent acknowledgement.
You gotta scrub those walls clean. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. If it's post filtration, then yes.
There's potpourri.
And are you? What power source are you connecting to it?
You said the houses have their own kind of like connection, right? Not necessarily wall outlets, but
yeah, I was gonna say they're not really wall outlets, but there's power conduits that run to like the cooking surfaces and some of the lights and stuff. You could probably easily just, pull,
I think she would have kind of spliced off of one of the cooking surfaces and made sure that wasn't on, and then tried to she probably would have made some kind of rudimentary like, hey, if I flick this switch or disconnect this thing, it won't connect anymore. So it's like a kill switch almost, but really, really rudimentary.
Okay. So which would you like first, the good news or the bad news?
Always bad news first.
Okay. So the bad news is the current runs through it, and it
Mhm.
seems fine for a while.
Mhm.
And then it starts to glow a little bit and get warm, and then it essentially turns into thermite and just burns a hole all the way through to the bottom of the island.
That's horrifying.
I can relax. Yeah, so that's the bad news. The good news is that it doesn't hit anything critical on its way down.
Well, that's
Uh,
good.
And you essentially just have a giant pipe down into the ocean in this house.
I think Tamsin wouldn't have tried to stop it by any means. She just probably would have looked at it in fascination, like, what did I just make?
Oh, that's wise. Trying to stop it would have been bad.
Yeah, no, that's she's not that dumb. But she's very interested in this new property, and she she gives TC a look of both, like, did you see what I did? And also, don't try to replicate that.
TC just like walks over and like looks down into the hole, like.
The ultimate peace hole.
Impressive. You know how to patch this, right?
Yeah, I think we could probably just fill it with the same material, and
I was just gonna say we could put a piece of steel on it.
Well, that too. Yeah, I think we probably should fill a little bit of it just in case the steel fails and you fall through it. How big is the hole, Raven?
Oh,
is it big enough?
It's like softball sized.
Okay, I was gonna say if it's big enough that we could, fit a leg down there at best, that's okay. I'm fine with that. You lose anything down the hole, it's gone. Don't worry about it.
You say that. I fell into a manhole once, and that is a uniquely terrifying experience.
Oh, definitely. But manholes are like shoulder width.
They're like
Mikey.
man-sized.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I only got one leg in.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't looking where I was going. It wasn't
That's
like I just suddenly was over the manhole. I was looking
like
where I was
Roadrunner
walking.
style. Yeah.
And one half went in.
Oof. That's gross. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I think she would have learned her lesson and probably done the next experiments maybe down on the beach.
Okay.
Since we need a way to hook up the I guess no, we don't really need to, do we? With the moon pool and everything, they have their own self-sufficient like solar panels and everything.
Yeah. Do you try hooking it up to the moon pool and whatnot, that power supply?
I think she'd probably use an external source. She'd probably get it like a battery or a power cell or something and try and use it from that instead of the continuous power from the houses.
All right. Go ahead and give me another mechanical engineer.
27. It's
27.
slightly better.
Yeah. So when you hook it up to like a battery or like the solar panel power source, it just gets warm. It doesn't actually turn into thermite.
Okay. Interesting. Now, question for you, Raven. When it's disconnected and it's no longer so hot that I can't touch it, does it have any effect when I touch it on me?
No. It's just slightly warm from residual heat.
Okay. So she'd chronicle all of that and then let Owen know that she's not exactly at weaponized status yet. Well, she's not going to mention the thermite bits.
I will say this too, with the external power source or the solar panels, it does get hot enough that you could essentially use it as a like space heater if you needed to.
Ooh. Okay, good to know.
Like I probably wouldn't be able to quite like fry an egg on it. Couldn't use it for like a cooking surface exactly.
You could raise the temperature by like 5 degrees if you needed to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it could make a cool or cold room comfortable.
Okay. I'm cool with that. That's a use. Actually, I have a few ideas for that on how we'll implement that in the rocket, but that's for later. Okay.
All right. So that sounds like all of the personal projects done, and then and you're able to make a sort of an amphibious ghillie suit. So it masks your heat signature, because you were asking about that in the Zoom chat, and you're able to get material together to make it kind of look like it could work as seaweed in the water, but if you were on land, it might look like something that got washed up on land.
If I make Lyle and or Quackers model it for me first, do my special eyes still detect them?
your nanite stuff. You're able to, like, if they're just standing in front of you, it recognizes the outline of a person. But if they go hide in a little bit of brush or on the beach or something like that, it has a hard time. It doesn't really pick them out as people, and it doesn't pick up their heat signature. Probably does Quackers, because I don't think you could really effectively make a suit for Quackers. But Quackers is a duck, so it doesn't register as a threat.
We just need a hamster ball.
That would be funny. Okay, so that is all the personal projects. The month has passed. Where do you want to go from here? I know you had objectives to secure the fridge, and then you wanted to start going towards the power station. So what do you want to do first, I guess, is the big question.
I think the fridge.
Yeah, I think fridge is definitely Tamsin's priority.
In the month, what kind of armaments has TC managed to build up? What are we working with now? Because I know we've got the repulsion or propulsion cannon, but TC was also just going to, like, there's something very efficient about a grenade.
I tell you what, if you want to try and do a physical fortitude roll to kind of push yourself over the course of the month, you might be able to find out how to make a grenade.
I will 100% do that every day of the week. Raven, what are you even doing? 100% natural 20 right there.
Wow.
Wow. So yeah, TC is Superman now.
He is nothing if not determined.
And
Right.
I will say this, you can make a couple of batteries, and you figured out how to essentially make them overload. So they're essentially a timer grenade.
Okay.
Only issue is the timer's not an exact science, so it'll blow up between like 10 and 30 seconds from when you activate it.
Okay, that's some wiggle room. That's good to know. Good to know.
Like,
Okay.
definitely not going to blow up in your hand if you activate it and immediately throw it.
Wiggle
if you
room
wanna,
and
like...
grenade should not be in the same sentence.
We just got to dial it in a little bit. It's just going to take some practice to just dial everything in. That's all.
Yeah. So yeah, but if you hold on to it and try to time it to where it'll explode as soon as it hits something, you run the risk of blowing yourself up.
Yeah. Cool. Good to know.
So I'll see you've got
yeah.
2 of those. It'll affect a if we were using like a grid map, it'd be the equivalent of 4 squares.
Okay.
Which is 20 square feet, I think.
Normally they're 5-foot squares.
Yeah.
It's square foot. Sorry.
10 by 10. Yeah, 20 square feet. Or 4 map squares. And it'll do like 3d8 damage.
All right.
So-
3d8. Training type tech.
Yeah, I guess.
And would there be a bonus to hit on that?
Just
Would there be a bonus to
uh,
hit on that from my sabotage?
No, because it's going to be your
Okay.
combat training specifically, so tech weapons.
Okay, cool. So is that the same score that is tech weapons, or is that just training type tech?
Let me look at your character sheet real quick, so I make sure I'm
Okay.
telling you the right thing.
Mechanics.
Okay. So right before it starts into the professions section,
Mhm.
that tech right there is the combat training.
Okay,
Currently,
cool.
you've got a 7. And,
7. Cool. So is there a separate bonus to hit? Or is that just a
that
different
is
thing entirely?
pretty
Okay,
much
cool,
it.
cool, cool.
So
Awesome.
yeah, how you've got it set up in there is perfect.
Okay, excellent. Do I get because I know at a certain level we get an extra weapon damage die, correct?
Yeah, that's with that factored
That's
in.
with it? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. You said I got 2.
because
I
apparently
have
you
2?
didn't require sleep during the month. And
Nope. It's because I
just
made a
worked
dartboard.
endlessly.
You know what? We were talking, and y'all were right. I was pushing myself too hard, so I made a dartboard and relaxed. Did not sleep, just relaxed. Felt better.
I feel like TC would be one of those that's just like, you don't really need to sleep at night. You just need 30-minute naps, incrementally throughout the day.
Oh, he's 100% one of those. The increment, interim sleep. That's 100% what he does. He's like, oh no, I just run on a 20-hour day. It's fine. It's normal. You know, what is normal? This planet's not doesn't have a 24-hour day anyway. You should just accept it.
It's
Move
true,
on.
it doesn't. I think it's a 20-hour day-night cycle.
Oh, so that's fantastic for intermittent sleep. Wonderful.
All right.
I have
So that
a
takes care of
question.
that. Yes.
Actually, answer Pat's question. Are we level 13? I mean, I'm not, but are they?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's where we
I
ended
think
up.
so.
Yeah, I'm 14.
I'm 14.
My question is, out of the stuff we have blueprints for, like usual tools, do we need to establish how many of those we make, or do we simply can make them?
Anything that you've
Because-
got materials for outside of that month period, unless it was, is there something that you wanted to add to the list? I guess.
I mean, because how many tools did we put in those bags? How many tools did we produce for like? I mean, stuff like O2 tanks, propulsion cannons, scanners, welders. We would need many of. Did we
For the
produce
bug
enough
out
for
bags?
everybody? And for bugs?
Let's see. Just looking at the list again.
Okay, so we don't get unlimited amount, so we need to count them out.
So just the numbers that are on the list that we had, aside from the Tums, because it was only 3 instead of 6.
We had no numbers on on most tools, I think.
If there's no number, it's just 1.
Okay.
So 1 propulsion cannon and 1 scanner would probably not enough. Especially when propulsion cannon is a tool we would be using a lot, probably.
Yeah. You can have as many scanners as you'd like, because they're pretty easy to make. So everybody can have their own scanner. But the propulsion cannons are a little more complicated. So yeah, I'm just going to say 1 for that.
Makes sense.
You'll have to share. And to clarify, that's the one that can pick stuff up and launch it.
Yeah. How big is that?
Refill sized?
Yeah, it's a full size thing. I'm trying to think of like something that's a comparable size.
Are we thinking like a Stinger or a bazooka or something smaller?
Not nearly as big as a bazooka. It's like a heavy, cumbersome sort of bullhorn, I guess you could say.
Okay.
It roughly
Kind of reminds me of like a medium, or not a medium, but like a smaller sized motor.
See, I'm
Yeah.
distinctly getting the vacuum from Luigi's Mansion.
Okay, yeah, kind of
That's-
like that
Or
without
like
the backpack.
the Mario, the Super Mario
Mario
Sunshine
Sunshine.
water
Yeah.
pack. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that without the backpack.
Okay.
So
All
you're
right.
definitely gonna have to use 2 hands to use it, because it's a little unwieldy, but it's not super heavy.
Okay. Unless
So-
like people are actively fighting over it, I would volunteer TC just to be the one to carry that. Because if that's a tech skill, like, I don't know.
It is a tech
Anybody
weapon,
else?
yes.
Anybody else feel real
with it.
comfortable with their tech weapon training?
Thames is not super interested in using it now.
I would. No, I think that's not my size.
Okay.
Oh,
TC would insist that everyone practice with it a little bit,
Yeah.
and then we'll be happy to carry it when we're like out and about.
Mhm.
But everyone should know how to not hurt themselves while using this.
That's
Actually,
fair.
I would imagine that Alison wouldn't even approach it without thumbs.
That's fair. And it would probably be an easy thing to like hook it up to a Tums hand if you really needed to.
Okay.
So maybe then if we only get one of those, maybe more stasis rifles.
I mean, I think we had a
or
couple,
two.
didn't we?
We had only one. That's what
just
we
the one.
established last.
Yeah, you can replace
Owen
the
has one.
Right.
you can
Yeah.
replace
Owen.
the two that you had on the large sub before. So it'll give you a grand total of
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Okay.
And just to clarify too, so the repulsion cannon is not meant as a weapon. It's meant as something that you can pick up heavy objects with and set them down or push them out of the way. However, you can technically use it as a weapon. So there's 3 buttons.
Just
There's
turn up
sort
the
of
dial
like
a little.
yeah, there's like pick up, set down, and push. And I'm just gonna assume that you have the push option turned all the way up.
Specifically, I'm gonna try to rig up some ammunition, which is basically just going to be chain link and then basically a metal bolus.
Oh,
I saw that coming.
Like the 3 links of chain with a metal ball at each end.
yeah. There's a term for that I know, and I can't remember it.
I know the term, but I have no idea how to pronounce it.
See, you could spell it out.
I'm gonna have to look it up real quick.
Yeah, bolus.
Yeah, okay, it is.
Bolus.
It's a chain shot.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, essentially that.
They used to fire them out of cannons at
Mhm.
the mast
to take the
try
mast
to-
down. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, 100% that. Like, yeah, I want to drop whatever it is that, like, maybe not necessarily kill, but I don't want it to fucking run away, and I don't want to have to aim real well.
Okay. I'm gonna say you've got a couple of those on hand, and you can make more as you find.
Yeah, I was just thinking like 2 or 3, just like scrap metal. Just like a few pieces of ammunition. I don't think this is a thing that he really wants to use.
Unless he has to.
Yeah, this is going to be overkill for most things. It's much better just a trap.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be somewhat effective on most vehicles. On a person, you'd shatter their legs or other things.
Well, they got nanobots in them. They'd be fine.
That is not how that works.
That is exactly how that worked with Susie.
Owen, we need to test something on your legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Assuming you're using them as like a bola.
Yeah, that would be it.
Wouldn't recommend that on people.
Except person.
Maybe Wilfred.
Yeah, well, even that I think would be a little like just just get rid of him. Don't torture him with it.
Wait. Yeah, I mean that's that comes next.
Anyway,
Obviously.
So the fridge.
yeah.
What method are you using to try to make this work?
So definitely someone in the big sub to help tow it once it's back to its kind of original orientation.
Definitely teleporting Tams to help dig it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
yeah,
I guess
we'll
air
be able to do
bladders?
that.
Yeah, air bladders I think is what we discussed.
Okay.
Kind of like pontoons almost.
Yeah.
And making it patching the holes with welding,
Right.
so
All
it has
right.
some buoyancy of its own.
And so we don't get leeches in it.
Yeah. Let's start with the patching then. So we get a mechanical engineering roll from anyone who's using the Tums to and repair tool or welder to patch that up.
Tamsin be happy to help.
Alison would definitely want to do that.
Yeah, TC's happy to help as well.
Okay.
So
Actually, TC's got his own projects. Y'all, as long as y'all
Yeah.
are comfortable, TC's got it. TC's got his hands in too many pots right now.
That's yeah.
oh, plus
Yeah. If
4, so-
Owen's okay with doing it. Ooh.
Okay, so
This is
It's
this is
13
mechanical
because-
engineering.
it's 13, but I would say I think I've made some holes with that.
Yeah. All right. So 28, a 13, and an 18. Part of it's patched up, just really nice. It's very clean seams. Part of it is well, it's like when a kid tries to fix a box with tape. There's only a couple small holes, but it looks rough.
It's got a lot of spot weld leftovers.
Oh yeah, and like just metal pieces overlapping where they really shouldn't be. There's still a few holes, but it's not gonna let in a lot of water, and it's probably not big enough for the leeches to get in.
We don't know. They may have collapsible skeletons.
Yeah, but it works. It's just not very pretty.
Works is
Um,
all we need on this planet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's still standing upright like a monolith.
Mhm. How
but
was it before? Was it at like an angle?
Before it was pretty much almost level and just a tiny little bit of an angle.
Okay.
And now it was like at a, what would that be, like 170 degree angle, and now it's at like a 90 degree angle.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So how would you like to make it not that? Are you planning on using the air bladders to lift up one side, or
I
some
think
other
what
method?
we
Or
What we could do, and like feel free to discuss this. What we could do is we could have the Tums grappling the top of it to keep it steady, like at the top end, and then using the air bladders on the bottom to tilt it the other way, and using the Tums to stabilize it so it doesn't just like flop over in the water.
Just try to lie it on the surface.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I hope Luna and Tamsin can do the math on the buoyancy force.
That's kind of what I'm
we
thinking.
actually start lying it down after we're ready to. Not
Yes.
earlier.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
do some extra maths just to make sure that works before we try it.
I'm not even going to make you roll for that. Between a theoretical engineer and an astrophysicist, I think you can
Yeah,
figure out.
that's basics.
Yeah.
Gonna manufacture
what
a slide rule.
Yeah. What I do need to know is where specifically are the Tum suits, and how are they grappling onto the top? Like what points are they grappling, that sort of thing.
So if I know you can't see what I'm doing, but if the fridge is vertical, right, it's standing up in the middle, and the Tums are, let's say, on the right side, we're trying to tip it so that it falls over slowly to the left,
Okay.
so that we're kind of grappling on the midsection or a little higher, and the Tums are really just slowing the descent, like keeping it controlled.
I think Alison has a little different idea.
Sure.
Let's use large sub to pull it in the direction we want to follow it, and all Tums to stabilize it, to slow the descent from the opposite end.
Yeah, that works too.
Slow down the fall.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're using a sub to pull one direction and the Tums to act as a counterweight from the other direction, while the bottom sort of lifts up with the air
That sounds right.
bladders.
Yeah.
Okay, that will work. I just need a mechanical engineering roll for whoever's driving the sub and whoever's in the Tums, just to make sure you execute that plan correctly.
Oh my god. Okay. I will be in one of the Tums.
I think
You
Tam's
got
in
you got the technical stuff done. You just got to drive, basically.
Oh, and what would you prefer to do?
I think I was in one of the Tums, right? Did we
Yeah.
establish that?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's all mechanical engineering, I don't know that it matters.
Well, we could have you drive the sub. I don't know if that's mechanical engineering.
Yeah, driving is
Yeah.
mechanical.
Okay.
It's all the
Well,
same thing.
Can we
stay in
use
the robo
Luna
seat.
this one time?
We need Luna or someone else to drive the sub.
Yeah, Luna will drive the sub. That works.
Okay.
That's honestly the it's all about the same amount of like bad if you mess it up as far as the fridge goes, but
Mhm.
crashing the sub is a lot
Is-
easier to
yeah.
do than crashing the tubs. Let's see.
Okay.
Well, Luna got a nat 20.
Well,
So-
all right. I got 32. So
Hold down, Luna.
All right.
Oh, I
Easy
got
there.
30.
nice.
Yeah, there you go.
nice. There we go.
You execute
Finally.
this plan flawlessly. You've
Okay,
got
that's the one
cryo-
thing we didn't want to screw up.
Yeah, you've got the air bladder set up just right, and you've basically made a giant pontoon boat,
Nice.
sort of.
Tamsin is definitely screaming over the comms about the benefits of doing the math beforehand. She's having the time of her life with it. She's like, I never get to do this kind of stuff.
Luna's just fussing at you to turn your microphone volume down, but is also cheering with you.
Cool.
Math bitches, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. And yeah, now that you've got the sub, you can essentially tow this to the island. Could I get a sight roll, however, from everybody who's not in the sub?
I suppose. I don't like this. I don't like anything about this. You just see
No,
a
we're-
head pop out of the top.
We made the mistake of going in the water. Is the problem?
It's true. It's true. Good
Like,
God,
why are we
really?
all rolling twos?
Zan, why are you rolling?
all
You're
right.
on the island.
I mean,
it was
he's
everyone who wasn't in the thing, who wasn't in the sub.
Yeah, I should have specified.
Oh, sorry. I
was
was
also-
No, you're
it's like,
good.
okay, yeah, this is
Also
what,
fridge.
this is fine. I guess we see the island moving. That's fine. Oh no.
I'm gonna assume that Susie's here as well.
Yeah, I think she would
so I'm
probably
gonna
be
roll
here.
for Susie.
It's not a bad
Also, just a
idea.
quick reminder for Tamsin there, you've got an advantage that you can use.
I'm gonna wait and see what Susie rolls, if that's okay.
That's totally fine. Where's your sight roll? There it is.
That was 3 twos from us in a
32.
row.
Okay. So,
I think I'll let Susie have that one.
Fair. Susie notices that there is a boat looking thing off to the west, so towards Bad Island.
Are we talking like horizon, or are we talking?
Yeah, towards the horizon. Not close enough that they're an immediate threat, but close enough that it's not 100% sure if they've seen you or not.
But they've probably seen the fridge and the fact that it has changed orientation.
Yeah, yeah. And they are heading your direction. So, do you want to go directly to the island? Do you want to confront the people on the boat, or do something completely different?
Is TC with us?
TC, I believe, is on the island, but the mini sub is still available if TC needed to get over there, or to just teleport.
Did we establish is the where the fridge was originally, the original island? Is that within comms range? With like the sub
Ooh.
and the tums?
Oh yeah,
As-
yeah.
as
With the
boosters?
big sub, you should be able to get radio signal to
Okay.
the island. Yeah.
That I think as soon as we see that, I think Tamsin would radio the island and kind of let them know what we see.
We have company, and I don't think we don't want them to follow us to the island.
Yeah, TC's gonna get over there real quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Do you have anything
Okay.
for sinking boats, TC?
I mean,
he's just gonna look at you and like trying real hard to keep a straight face, but his pupils are a little bit dilated and he's starting to sweat a little bit.
That was not the reaction. I was presenting it as more like a oh, do I have something? Let me go pick my favorite toy.
Yeah.
As a but
Insert
I knew you had it
Kill
in
Bill
you.
sirens here.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So TC
Uh,
is going to get over there real quick.
okay.
And with some of those bolo, with the two bolos as well, or the
Okay.
chain. What was it called?
Chain shot.
Chain shot. That's it. Yeah, with some chain shot.
Okay. And question for Zan.
Mhm.
Wilfred, the character, did he have like any sort of like emblem or logo or anything like that associated with him or his religion?
I think he would have had a. I think. So this is all this is all entirely headcanon. I haven't made this super vocal, but once I don't know exactly what the symbol was, but I know that like once he was kind of on his own and like trying to find his path again, he obviously his clothes are shreds at this point, so there's no thing there left. So he's gonna do something to kind of like scar that symbol into his chest a little bit.
Okay.
And then as he fully manifests himself in what he is supposed to be doing, he realizes that is just the starting point, and will grow from there, and will modify the original symbol until it's something unique to himself and what he is doing in this situation.
Okay. Whatever it looks like,
Mhm.
as the boat gets closer, you can see that's on a flag that's just flying on this essentially big pontoon boat.
Huh.
This guy. Get a hobby.
I think he did. It's called
I think he did.
starting a cult.
Get a
Well,
different hobby.
the only reason they have a flag is to let us know that they're on their way. And I can't help but notice that is not a white flag by any chance, is it?
What? Yeah, they made a flag just to fuck with one other group of people. Like, we obviously know who it is. Why do you also need the flag?
Yeah, it's not like there's a new group of people that are against both us and Wilfred.
Well, so somebody needs to we need to get a boat out there because gonna need to rescue them.
I'm sorry. Rescue?
And I'm going to raise the repulsion cannon and sling one of the bolos that over there.
Okay. You have the spyglass now. Was in your list. Did anybody want to use that to take a look at them?
I
Oh,
think Tamsin
while
would be.
you're prepping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as we spot it, I think Tamsin would be up with the spyglass binoculars.
Okay.
The spinoculars, if you will.
Let's get a sight roll with advantage now.
Okie doke. 30.
30. Okay. So as you're looking through the spyglass and TC is prepping this propulsion cannon with the chain shot and everything, and I'm assuming you're like on top of the fridge at this point?
Yeah, probably on top of the sub, honestly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tamsin, you can see the flag more clearly, and it's whatever symbol it is that Wilfred had, but it's altered a little bit. It's got like sort of the robot sort of head outline on it as well. And standing at the front of the ship, full on like Commodore, proud, confident
Drive me
stance.
closer, let me hit them with my sword.
Yeah, one leg up on like a railing or something like that, is someone with a great big bushy beard and new vaguely Jedi-looking robes, and a mechanical arm.
It's Obi-Wan!
God, it's Darth Maul's new legs.
Yeah, like the right arm is a robot arm
Didn't
now.
Didn't Wilfred lost his leg? Not arm?
I
Was it
actually don't
leg?
remember.
I don't think he lost his leg.
Yeah, I don't
don't
think
think
it
so.
was. I don't think we mentioned what specifically was injured. Just that he
Oh,
was injured.
Okay.
Hmm.
Was this
I
when
might
he
have
raided
said
where the
leg, but-
philosopher was?
Yeah.
Okay, I
if
was
I
like, we
said leg
didn't-
before, I'm gonna retcon that and say it's his arm instead.
That's fair. I think Tamsin would just hold the spyglass up for TC and say, "Recognize anyone?" And she clearly has a look on her face of like, "I'm sure you'll recognize someone, but I just want to be sure."
Hmm.
We're just really into those questions we already know the answer to today.
Yeah,
for TC.
rhetorical questions are kind of our jam today.
Huh.
Can I peek afterwards?
Yeah, she'd pass it around. Like we could probably make a couple of them realistically. We probably should have made them last season.
Are
It's show and tell.
you got
Yeah.
any experience being a spotter, Owen?
Oh, not like that. I mean, I keep forgetting that you've got something to launch because all of my ideas go to grabbing one of your grenades and then teleporting over their ship and dropping it and then teleporting away.
Well, this is
all
like not
all of my
Tamsin
assault
saying
plans
this.
are teleportation based.
This isn't Tamsin saying this, but I will remind you that you do have a stealth suit.
Yeah.
Oh, we do, don't we? Oh, but I am not very stealthy though.
Oh, I mean Owen's. It's kind of Owen's
yeah.
thing. So
I mean,
also,
I guess
the grenades work with the propulsion cannon too. Just,
Yeah.
throwing that out there.
I see
Quite a lot of
Tamsin.
weaponry.
I was gonna say Tamsin would say no to that because you're using, force to launch an explosive that's not really been made to be launched as the math says no.
I mean, if your timer but not timer grenades work underwater, I could sneakily swim up to the ship if we try and parlay with them.
I love how quick
The
this
question
is,
turned into a
Do
pirate
we even
episode.
do we even consider parlay?
No,
I
I
know.
mean, not
they're-
for real. That was literally just to blow up their boat.
Right. Parlay,
Okay.
quote unquote.
No, I think that they came over here to negotiate. They're not aware that they came over here to negotiate. I think they came over here to prove a different point. But we need to adjust the height of the chairs at this table, and we're going to see if that changes their song they're singing at all. Tamsin, can you give me can you walk me in on this on the second shot?
Tamsin's definitely got this, like, I don't know what the fuck you mean about chairs and such, but yeah, sure. Like she's kind of giving that look of like, all right, he probably knows what he's doing. Yeah, sure. And she'll attempt to walk him in, quote unquote, for the second shot.
So I'm gonna make that first shot.
Yeah, you could use. Oh, I guess no. You probably want the same. Never mind. Never mind. You're good.
Okay, go ahead and make the first shot.
Making the first shot. So what role is that exactly? Is that just another tech roll?
Yeah, it's your tech combat roll.
Cool. Oh well, I had cap locks on. That's gonna look weird. All right, so that is a 29.
All right. So 29, and what specifically are you aiming for?
So does the ship seem to be like powered by wind or powered by some kind of electronics?
Oh, it's essentially the same thing that you all had before. A
A
big
little mini sub.
big platform with some pontoons on it and a couple of like the handheld Sea Glide things.
Glide
Yeah.
engines.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Cool. I'm gonna go for the front quarter of it, and like just right at the floor, right at the base. Like
Okay.
I want to. If somebody gets hurt, somebody gets hurt. That's it is what it is. Collateral damage smells like collateral damage.
Listen, they
But,
rode out here. I'm not fussed about their well-being.
Yeah, no. The intent is to destroy the ship, and then we'll come over and rescue them if they're ready to talk, and if they're not, then we'll drive away, and that's that.
Okay, so yeah, you get that first shot off, and despite it being the first shot, you kind of got a lucky shot in. Your aim was pretty accurate. It sort of wraps around one of the guardrails, and one of those metal balls just sort of punches a hole into one of the pontoons on the one side. Are you following up with a second shot?
How quickly is the water is it?
They're still moving forward. It's a slow taking on of water.
Have they've not altered their course or anything? They're still
not
they're
quite
making no-
yet, but you can see there's a couple people on the boat moving around and trying to check out the damage, and they're still assessing.
I'm gonna give them 5 seconds.
Okay.
How far have they moved?
They don't change course, but they do slow down.
Does it look like they're stopping or they're just slowing?
Hard to tell. It could be that they're continuing towards you at a slower speed, or it could just be they're still have forward momentum from cutting the engines.
What's the situation look like? TC will ask Tamsin.
Okay.
Tamsin will have another look.
All right. So looking through the spyglass, yeah, you can see that there's a couple people trying to patch the hole in the pontoon. It looks like they've probably stopped, and it looks like somebody is opening a compartment in the floor and pulling out something metal looking and passing it forward. A little hard to tell what it is.
Sorry, I was muted there. Tamsin definitely has a look of concern wash over her, and she kind of like slaps TC's arm a few times, like they're bringing something forward. I don't know what it is, but knowing Wilfred, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like once the slap, if there's any kind of like urgency to the touch, just boom.
Oh yeah, like it's that panic of like, you're driving in the wrong lane. You're driving in the wrong lane. Like it's that kind of scared.
Yeah, 100%. Just let's fire that other shot off. With
right.
Making any adjustments that Tamsin might have said I needed to make from the first one.
Okay, yeah, she'll do her best. She's not exactly a spotter. She
yeah.
could figure out some math angles maybe.
I was gonna say it's all math, right?
Yeah, but there's a difference between doing on-the-fly math for a chain shot and doing like complex physics.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Boom. 31.
Nice.
31.
Constantly improving.
Just like I said, just gotta walk it in.
Gonna re-roll that because the block I rolled for them, it was 31 also.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
fingers crossed.
Raven, you're the worst.
Okay, they
24.
rolled lower this time.
You could do D6.
Yeah, they only rolled 19.
Okay.
So you hit this time.
You do?
Where
Okay,
are you aiming?
fine.
Where are you aiming now?
I'm aiming a little closer to like I want there to if this was a circle, if the first shot was a circular area, I would like to make the second shot partially a Venn diagram. I want there to be a little bit of overlap in the damage. I want a small area to be real fucked up, and I want the rest of it to be not looking great. And maybe if I aim a little bit high this time, maybe they'll fucking start taking me seriously. So I'll probably aim a little bit higher this time too.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to hit the sort of that guardrail again, and it's real close to the person that's trying to patch things up. They might even get like hit in the arm or something like that, and have some. They're gonna need some medical attention, but they're gonna be okay. And yeah, it just completely destroys the patch that they were trying to put on there and makes the hole bigger. And also, it looks like what they were passing forward goes off before it was intended to. And so you're able to see this essentially giant harpoon made out of the metal stone hybrid material with a rope on it just shoot towards you, but it's arced a little too high and it comes down short and doesn't actually hit anything. But you can feel the spray of the splash from it.
So that's not good.
So, originally, I was gonna say that we go and get in one of the boats and we go try to see them. Now I'm a little bit more inclined to maybe stand here for a second and really contemplate the actions that I've made and give them time to contemplate their actions in return.
Tams is going to hand TC the spyglass, and she's going to go down and get in one of the Tum suits while he's pontificating about parlaying.
But they just, the damper they are, the more willing to listen to reason they might be.
I don't know if you've ever met a damp person.
I've met a lot of people who don't want to be damp anymore.
Yeah, Tamsin's not convinced that they're willing to talk.
Okay. And I assume Luna's continuing to move forward this whole time.
Yeah, I don't think we would have told her to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe take a longer, route, not a direct route, but kind of like a lazier arc to get back to the island.
If we could...
Okay.
Is there any way that, so they were between us and the island?
Yeah.
Or they were...
The old island,
They're-
right?
They're coming from that
from-
island.
Okay.
They're coming from Wilford Island.
Yeah.
So, would there be any way for us to, make a big loop around them and just make sure that they don't have anybody coming after them?
You certainly could, though that would put you at a greater risk of being spotted by more people and more people coming after you.
I mean, that is...
We
that
can
is
always
fair.
just go away from both islands.
Just so I've got an accurate representation of the Tum suits, what are they?
I'll pull up an image.
Are we
Okay.
talking the suit that Ripley uses in Aliens?
That's
type
100% what I'm
thing?
thinking.
It's
That's
pretty similar.
That's in my head.
It's pretty
close,
like a
yeah.
it's like a little plexiglass sort of capsule with arms and legs attached to it, and a big metal backpack and some lights.
I was gonna say, is it heavy? Was my question.
Oh, very, very heavy.
So now this sounds like
Alright.
a machine that was frequently used by the Red Ribbon Army way back in original Dragon Ball. There's just circles
A
with
little
arms
bit,
and legs.
yeah.
That is a hell of a
bit.
That was a hell of a pull. Sorry, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
real specific reference.
Owen is climbing into a Tums as well.
Okay.
But it really
Okay.
looks like this. That's perfect analogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's made with a lot of see-through. I wouldn't want to use the bathroom in there.
Pretty sure you're not supposed
I
to.
was gonna say I don't know that the fish will mind.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's getting into Tums, but she's kind of keeping it above water. She's clearly not trying to submerge and launch herself at the other ship.
Okay.
I don't think
okay.
Allison would ever leave the Thames, so
Fair.
Okay. So are you just kind of using the grappling arm to hang on to the sub or the
Yeah.
fridge?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they don't really surface; they just sink, and then you
Mhm.
walk up to wherever it is that you want to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, she's definitely. We keep them tethered when we're not in them.
Okay. All right. Well,
Oh, God.
Luna's.
I've got something I would do besides holding on.
Yeah.
I can wait on that if things are happening.
do tell. Luna's just
Um,
taking like a wide arc to get back to the island.
I guess before I do this, at some point when we made the Tums with all of the fantastic mathy engineers that we've got, would we have determined the kind of impact the Tums can take before being destroyed?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, Pat.
They I mean, they can take a pretty good hit, more so than like the subs, but they're definitely not, invulnerable.
Okay. I mean,
Why?
what everybody. Well, I
But more
mean,
importantly, what's
I'm-
inside them is less invulnerable.
Are there seatbelts?
There are. That'll only get you so far, though. What are you thinking?
I mean, I'm thinking that there would be a two-step process where step one would be me hitting my teleport button to get back to the cave, and step two would be me teleporting directly above the ship in one of these heavy-ass suits and just falling like a rock.
I
mean, that could work.
Honestly, a really clever idea.
How high are you thinking?
That was the math question that I feel like Owen would have pitched this at some point.
Okay. So I think Tamsin would give you a rough estimate of. Now, question for you, Raven: is momentum maintained when teleporting?
That's a good question.
Because that will change how the math works.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, that's what I
Because if
figured.
it was, returning to the transporter room could have bad consequences.
yeah, that's fair. Okay,
So I'm gonna say no
yeah.
on momentum. It just sort of, you materialize and you have
Net
neutral
zero movement.
momentum.
Okay. So yeah, I think Tamsin would give kind of the spiel of if you're doing it, you won't have to worry about your momentum, but anything short of like 20 feet in the air, I'm gonna say, won't do much. Like if you dropped from like 10 feet, you might like rock the boat a bit, but you won't punch a hole in it.
Oh yeah, I was more worried about going too high than too low.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I think rough estimate, like this is Tamsin and me at the same time, is kind of like between like 20 and 30, you'd probably do enough to dent it or cause some issues. Anything higher than that, you're probably looking at serious damage to you as well.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna hurt either way, but one way you may not break your legs.
So 20 feet, you said?
Yeah, like between 20 and 30, I'd say. Let's say 25 for average.
25. All right. Thanks, Alex, for that. The redeeming the 10,000 guild coins for an advantage for Allison. Got that up there now. So yeah, you could certainly try to do that. Is that what you would like to do?
Yes.
Let's do a discipline roll to make sure you get just the right height that you're going for.
I'll pump a lot into points into that roll 20. You gonna cooperate?
That's not bad. You could
Gonna
use
add a
D6
D6 if we're okay with that. We've got D6s,
totally.
right?
Yep. You got 5 of them right now.
Well,
Sure.
it's 25 at least. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, 25. Good enough. Because yeah, you get the roughly the height that you want. You're probably going to feel like you've been in a car wreck, but there's no actual damage to you. Because I was going to say, if you go too high, it's kind of like a concussion where you're the brain and the Thames is the skull. Just bad stuff. But yeah, you get about 25 feet above it, and yeah, you're able to just slam down into this
I
thing.
just realized you could do something else if we had, impact compensation. You could go higher and then grapple it. And then
get a little extra momentum on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you land on it, and it basically turns that flat surface into a bowl. And one of the pontoons kind of gets detached off of the side, so it starts to tilt, and it's not quite sinking, but it's definitely
sinking
not
on
be,
water.
Yeah. Like the bulk of the boat is still floating, but it's definitely not going anywhere anytime remotely soon.
And how many poor unfortunate souls did Owen land on?
No people. They sort of all, Wilhelm scream and fell into the water. Except for Wilfred, who is now standing right in front of you, just staring into your eyes through that glass with this look of betrayal on his face.
You never called.
Zan, what do you think Wilfred would say at this point?
Well, that is a powerful shame because it seems as though I've come calling now, doesn't it?
I'm not quite sure.
This is a hell of a
Is your
gift to
vessel
bring
the
me.
one with a bunch of?
I'm real appreciative. Thank you for this wonderful gift. So you've decided to come on over. You tired of living over there with the rest of them. Gonna actually do some good and try to get off this place.
So how are you gonna get off if your robots injected the robot shit into everybody on your island? Is the question.
That is an absolutely wonderful question that I would be more than elated. I would bathe in the ecstasy of answering that for you, but you'd have to accompany me back to my little Casa de la Wilfred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I gotta be honest, there's a little bit of a trust issue here when, you said, I'll be in touch, and then I didn't hear from you until I just put a giant dent in your toy.
Yeah, that's it's kind of a two-way street on that one, if I'm going to be entirely honest with you. I've been a little busy. Things got a little out of hand for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
About that moment, there's this loud metal creaking sound, and Owen, your Tums footing is starting to slip a little bit. Things are starting to go a little sideways. You're not like falling into the ocean yet, but it's coming.
Well, as they say in the swamp, bye you. And just gonna try to push him off with push him the rest of the way off with that metal arm.
Okay. Owen is very happy to go over the side. He just wants to use that grappling arm to grab one piece of the boat as he keeps going and try to take the boat over with me.
Yeah, go ahead and roll mechanical engineering to chuck that grappling hook in the right direction.
Oh no. Now I have to drive the Tums.
It's not even really an attack roll. It's so big. It's really just you throwing it in the right direction.
21.
Good enough. You grab onto the underside of that floor plate and start pulling it down with you. You can see several people swimming in the water and sort of swimming away.
I'm liking the new recruits.
Yeah, they're real nice. There's you wouldn't believe this. There's actually a good cook amongst them. What are the odds, huh?
Oh.
It's always nice to eat well, isn't it? Feasting like a king every night at Casa de la Wilfred. But look at me over here just being real slick about it. That ain't me. Well, that is me, but we're just having a good time, yeah. Well, not too late to come back and join your old buddy Wilfred. One last good time.
I think at this point, Wilfred's probably having to swim, and Owen, you're pretty near the bottom of the.
I was gonna say just sinking.
Bottom of the water.
Oh, I'm sorry. You could have said something if you had that sinking feeling.
Don't remember you making this many puns with your speeches.
At that point, Wilfred and crew are swimming back, and if anybody cares to look on the horizon, there's another boat coming to pick them up. But by the time they get here, the sub and Fridge will be well out of eyesight. So you're all able to get the Fridge away from them without knowing where you're going.
Well, that's good.
So Owen, do you drive the Tums after everyone, or do you just teleport back to the island?
Oh God, I'm.
Please.
No, I definitely teleport back to the island, but I just had the idea that presumably Wilfred and his primary lieutenants are not on their island right now.
Not right the second, no.
They got to swim back.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to assume that at some point in this last month, I was lectured to not do any more solo missions.
I mean, you could always real quick chat with us.
Yeah, the radios are all working now.
We've
Yeah.
been encouraged to have open, spontaneous communication
It's
and
true.
changes.
Yeah.
I have already tried to kill today. I am down with a little bit extra.
Also,
I
we
would
just
flip
noticed
that idea,
Owen,
then.
teleporting, and Tamsin's like, "What the fuck is he doing over there now?"
This
So
wasn't
what-
sanctioned by OSHA.
Yeah. what do you say?
I'm back at the
sanctioned by
teleporter.
Ocean?
I'm back at the teleporter. Just thinking that there is a whole Wilfredless island left back there. Although I guess there weren't any robot crew on the boat, were there?
There were not.
And most of my weaponry is not great against robots.
That's true.
We never tested the stasis rifles against them.
No.
That's true. I think Tamsin would say, like, if you're gonna go, definitely bring someone, but I agree that we could run in and get something.
Be
Not
in for
like
some infiltration.
not an extended stay, but if he's not on that island, we could definitely get intel.
Anybody want to come with, or should I test my suit?
Tamsin definitely is out because she's not a fighter by any means. Yeah.
I'm interested to join.
Alison isn't going either on that trip because the idea is nobody gets hurt, and it's the only reason Alison should go. If we plan for somebody to get hurt, we don't.
Fair.
None of
what
my
do-
weaponry is lethal, as far as I know.
I mean,
Said-
the suit
said
can be.
big- Said the guy who just tried to land at a ton of metal on somebody's head.
If I was aiming for a head, I would have directed myself at Wilfred.
Alex says Susie would go.
Okay. So we've got Owen, Susie, and who else?
And TC.
And TC. Okay.
TC
Send
is
all the
not-
fighters.
TC is not going to tell Susie no, but is going to pointedly look her in the eyes and go and say, if you're ready to go, you're ready to leave someone behind there. You understand that, right? I mean, I can only imagine what kind of emotional turmoil Alex is going through trying to hammer out a rapid response to that while I stall dramatically and tastefully.
I think Tamsin's probably just puts a hand on Susie's shoulder. Like, I trust you with this. Keep them both safe.
Well, now somebody has to die.
Yeah.
It's a real
You doomed
Schrodinger's oath situation.
Too tired to
Alison-
respond and leave it to Raven. Okay.
All right.
Alison doesn't want Susie to go, but also Alison wouldn't want Owen and Tissy to go. So if they have to go, then having Susie with them, they would think it is safer. So that's loss instead of win-win.
All right. Then I'm going to assume the three of you are loaded up into Tum suits and are teleporting to the island. Where on the island did you want to teleport to?
Are we teleporting in tub suits? I thought we were just.
I was gonna say,
I thought
so.
we were not going in Tum suits. I thought
Okay.
this was an infiltration mission.
Yeah.
Oh!
I
had
didn't realize this was-
very different impression of what you
So
were
did
trying
I,
to
honestly.
do.
It definitely wasn't like a kill them all. It was just like a, Tums would probably be safe, but also they could fall into their
Very
hands.
noticeable.
I was thinking of going in my
Yeah.
sneaky suit.
Okay, you're going with that stealth suit. Where on the island are you teleporting to then?
Oh, so I mean, Owen described to y'all and showed the pictures that he and Lyle got. The volcano.
Alison made a database of locations for you to aid teleporting.
Plus, we were there.
Yeah.
I have never been
Yes,
to the
pictures.
island, so I actually do
Oh,
not know if I
right.
can teleport. I might have to be in the
No, you
company of
can.
someone who has.
You can hold hands.
Yeah.
So definitely not in the Tums then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, well, here's a thought. What if? So I could go with Susie, and Pat could go in the Tums, and we could switch around. I could be a distraction, and Pat could try to infiltrate with Susie. I could be a distraction in the Tums, and you can like get the shit that's worth getting, or we could do it vice versa. But I'm not super sneaky. Or we could just all go in, like naked as Blue Jay, and try to get in and get out real quick.
I mean, I don't know that any of us are actually super sneaky now that I think about it, because I don't think many of us put shit in to blend in.
Aside from Lyle.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
Yeah,
wild.
Susie definitely considers herself sneaky.
I don't know. I forget. Did we see them building some shit at that camp, Raven?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was some like equipment in the tents, some door to the cave. They barred the cave with the doors like we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the camp's probably where they've got useful stuff. There's that volcano computer up top that might have data on it, and that we know was still worth guarding to them.
Well, this is the two of you's mission. I'm not familiar with the environment. I'm here to lend support to the setting, but I can't make this call. What's the most important?
What if, with using the Tums, like you said, as a distraction, you could kind of come out of the water and act like, I don't know, maybe pretend you're me. Wilfred did invite me to the island. But I mean, regardless, essentially the Tums is a distraction. I will then just grab up as much shit as I can that they've left lying around in their camp.
Mm-hmm.
Just to snatch and grab.
Okay, great. Well, then let's prep for that. Then I will spend the next minute or two strapping the repulsion cannon onto the Tums, and off we go. Yeah?
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right.
Hell yeah.
What's the plan?
Oh, and your team leader. Your team leader on this one, buddy.
At least TC is going to be distraction. I don't know if Allison would prefer distraction in a Tum suit or sneaking around as well, but I was going to be in my sneaky suit and just try and grab up as much shit as I can in their camp, while hopefully they're distracted by, these mech suits coming for parlay
Okay.
or to blow shit up, whatever y'all are feeling in the moment.
So Susie and TC and Tums and Owen in the sneaky suit. Where on the island are you teleporting to?
I think if y'all come out of the water, just offshore, maybe, like walking out, and then I don't know, teleport into some bushes near the camp and just wait for my opportunity.
All right.
Okay.
And I
So,
will. I'm gonna hand one of the. Fuck! I've got the repulsion cannon. Honestly, I'm gonna hand one of the grenades to Susie, assuming that I've showed her how to operate any weapons that I have.
Okay.
Just so she's not unarmed.
All right. So you're able to teleport there. The Tums came from beneath the sea up onto the shore. And Owen is being sneaky. As soon as TC and Susie, break the water and start walking up the shore, there's a lot of people and robots that very quickly notice you have their attention, and they're starting to converge on your location, and that's where we're going to take a break, since we're a little bit over for our time for that. We're going to take a 15-minute break, give everybody a chance to stretch their legs, hydrate, grab snacks, all that good stuff, and then we'll be right back at the end of that 15 minutes, and we'll find out what happens on the island. So be right back. we're
that
back.
was so perfectly timed.
Perfect, exactly.
Oh, I hope that went through.
What went through?
I hope the cat went through.
Don't worry, I got
Oh,
it.
perfect. Yeah, Glitch is like, oh, you're streaming? Let me make a lot of noise. She loves attention and demands it. Anyways, we're back. And when we left off, Owen was hiding while TC and Susie were coming up onto the beach like what are they called? Kaiju? I think that's the right word. Yeah, like big giant robot monsters. Yeah, there's probably about 4 of those robots, the robot Rylans, and maybe half a dozen people charging your position. So TC, you're taking the lead here because Susie's in NPC mode.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Well, have propulsion cannon. Is there anything, anything on the shore? Any rocks? Any loose detritus?
There's a couple of rocks. There's lots of those beach cactus things.
Well, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna try to get mostly sea cactus, but I definitely want some rocks in there too because I don't imagine cactus plus robot is gonna really do math in my favor.
Probably not.
So yeah, we're gonna go with like a 70-30 rock cactus split, and just scattershot.
Okay. Yeah, let's make an attack roll with that.
Done and done. Boom. Oh, there was an error with my formula. I was there. Oh, there was an error with my formula. Okay, that's a 15.
Oh no. Yeah, most everybody ducks out of the way. But I mean, they're distracted, so that works. The humans at least have, kind of face planted into the sand. The robots really were not deterred too much. A couple of them got hit by a couple of rocks that slowed them down slightly. So I guess all in all, you end up with 2 robots trying to grapple the 2 of you at the moment instead of 4 and a bunch of humans.
Cool. So did we only have that one turn before they got to us?
I mean, they're approaching. You could probably get one more shot off.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't necessarily want to use my big guns right now. But I'm gonna. What's the general limitations of this here tractor beam gun? Oh, Pat said something and he was muted, and it makes me uncomfortable.
What exactly do you mean by limitations?
What are the capacities? What can it lift? What can it not lift? Was there like a weight limit, a mass limit, a volume limit?
Yeah, I mean something the size of the Rylan robots would be too big for it to lift.
Okay.
Something maybe half that size, though not like a human either. So that depends.
Okay, so we're looking like big rock is best bet.
Yeah.
All right. Well then, yeah, we're gonna, I guess take another shot at the Rylands this time and like directly aim at them with the rocks. Fuck the cactuses.
Okay.
If people get hit, people get hit. I gave them a warning shot and they didn't stop. So we're actually scratch that. No, we're just aiming full lethal.
Okay. Go ahead
We
and
we came here, so there's not really a purpose in us not coming here like we came here. 23.
Okay, so let's see. Would you like to use a d6? So
I would be interested in using a swiftness.
a swiftness?
Can I get
Like a stamina
an
point
action
to get
point?
another action?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because they just barely dodged that one. But yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and roll 1d20, and so it's a 19 on that d20. So you do get an extra action, and then
Okay,
you can
cool,
roll the
cool,
attack.
Extra attack. Boom, 28. There we go.
And they get a 23, so it does hit. Yeah, not able to like kill them, but it does. Not sure if the right word is damage or injure, but it causes some harm to them enough that they have to stop for a moment.
I want them to be fully aware of the intention of the things that I am implying that I will do if they get within arm's reach of me.
Sure.
Is that the thing?
Okay. So yeah, you and Susie are relatively safe for the moment, for the next 30 seconds at least. Owen, you're able to see all this happening. Are you capitalizing on this couple of minutes that they're buying you?
Oh boy, I'd sure like to.
All right. How would you like to do so? What are you looking for?
What? I guess because they had a bunch of supplies out amongst the tents of the camp here on the beach. So I guess I would be peeking around, either looking or listening for anything that either sounds like it's important for running things or that looks highly technical and that they would want to keep.
Okay.
That is portable enough for me to swipe.
Yeah, give me a sight roll.
There we go, 43.
Okay, nat 20. Yeah. There are, in one of the tents is a whole bay of monitors. It looks like they're trying to do some sort of sonar type technology, trying to find where the island is. And another tent is something that looks like a kind of a miniaturized mobile version of the island power plant. So it's like a small, probably some sort of nuclear reactor. Though it's not like a nuclear reactor that Bosco would have in your blueprints. This is a Rylan one. It looks important.
Yeah, it sounds important.
It's rather large. It's like the size of let's say a little bit smaller than a VW Bug. So a little a little smaller than a small car. But you could.
So nothing I'd carry. Something I would have to drop back off at the teleporter if I wanted to keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay. Or alternatively, I could stuff my pockets full of whatever I can carry and then end at the VW Bug and take it with me.
Potentially. You are on a very short clock because TC and Susie are definitely outnumbered. Is there anything that you can think of that you would like to find here that you could fit into your pockets?
The sonar tracking the island, I'm not actually that worried about because it's best I could do, I feel like, is fuck it up. But if it's just basic sonar, I assume it would be easy enough for them to rebuild.
Probably, yeah.
So I don't think that would put too much of that. That would be more just pissing them off and not actually impacting their effectiveness. Taking the VW Bug is definitely something I want to do. I guess the only other thing I'd be looking for is, do I see like any mass-produced weapons or anything like I forget what it looked like they were building before, but like, do I get being on site? Do I get a better view of what they were constructing?
It's like the sonar and monitoring is
Okay.
pretty much what they were building. If you're looking for weapons, you find like 3 of those big harpoons. You'd be kind of hard pressed to carry those out like easily, but you could absolutely do it. It would
No,
be like,
I mean,
it'd be awkward, but it's not heavy, so heavy that you couldn't lift it.
I might take one of those over to the bug and then jump out then. I mean, at the very, like, even just getting this information on their fortifications, I feel like is useful. This is more info than we had, and I don't know why I assumed they were building a rocket or some shit, but
Yeah.
it's good to know that's also not the case.
Yeah, no, they seem to be devoting all of their resources into finding the island. And since you got a nat 20, I will say that seems significant. That they're specifically trying to find the island and really not much of anything else. Also, I'll say there's another propulsion cannon there since you got a nat 20. So it's different. It's made out of the Ryland material. So it's a little heavier, but it's also a little smaller. So it's easier to hold, but it's a little heavier weight-wise. But it does the exact same thing.
We'd have no way. Would I have any sense that they LoJack their shit before I take it?
Yeah, you really have no way of knowing.
Okay.
You could try using your nanites to check it, but that would also probably alert them to the fact that you're there in the middle of them.
Yeah.
So it's risky either way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna check that. I'm just
Okay.
I'm going to supermarket sweeps this and just grab what I can and get to the nuclear reactor.
Okay. Then yeah, I think you've got enough time to do that and teleport out with their nuclear reactor. And that's about the same time that we'll hop back over to TC and Susie, where the robots are starting to get back up. The ones that were hit by the first wave of rocks, and the humans are getting up as well and starting to move back towards you and Susie. Muted there. Susie's literally
Yeah.
just grabbing rocks and throwing them with the
Yeah,
tons, so-
I think, yeah, I would have been shouting at her to do that and to focus on creating a bottleneck if you can with the stuff you throw. Like, make it tough to run in every place but one. And yeah, I'm going to aim slightly behind the because everything that I leave behind is potential like science that they don't have. But I'm sure they could figure out how to overcharge one of their batteries. It's fine. Yeah, I'll send that battery that I've got slightly behind
Okay.
the robots that are on the ground or that are picking themselves up.
Okay. Yeah, make another tech attack roll.
Tech
Basically,
attack.
just don't roll a 1, essentially, is all you gotta do here.
I rolled
Yeah.
a 14. Is that successfully not a 1?
Yeah. You hit roughly where you want to, because basically you're trying to hit the ground and not something that's dodging or blocking or anything. So
Yeah, I want to catch them in the splash, but I don't necessarily I want to really scare the folks that are behind them and further disorient them. I want this to be more of a threat to the folks coming up than to the ones that are actually already there.
Okay.
So I feel like I've probably taken a lot of the will to fight out of those folks already. Another little flash.
Okay. There's a high-pitched whine as it's starting to overload. And sort of next round of combat comes around, and they've picked themselves up off the ground, and are looking like they're ready to start charging towards you. It's your turn again, and the grenade hasn't gone off.
Cool. Then I'll do another spray of rocks.
Okay. I rolled to see how long it would take to blow up.
Hey, it's all good. Another spray of rocks for a 30 fucking one.
Yeah, that's probably gonna hit them. Yep, it does. And it pushes them back enough that they're not able to charge you this turn. But a bunch of the humans do. And they're essentially just smacking onto the legs and glass of this thing with rocks. It's not doing a lot of damage. And then it comes around to your turn again, and that's when it blows up. I rolled for it, and the timer said 20 seconds. So it blows up, and it does a lot of damage to the robots. It freaks out the humans who run away. And the robots are looking at you a little bit more cautiously.
Yeah, about how long has this whole encounter taken?
Long enough that Owen has already left the island.
Has Owen told us that he left the island?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then as soon as they start to break ranks, I think I'll probably take one cheap shot at if somebody's running away and they're still in like arm's reach.
Sure.
Just, you didn't need those fucking ribs anyways. And then look to Susie. Go. I'm behind you.
Okay. Susie will teleport out.
And I will teleport
just-
right after Susie.
Just as a quick reminder, just for kicks and giggles, you do have a grappling arm. Just throwing that out there.
A grappling arm?
Yeah, all the Tums have a
Oh,
grappling
all the
arm.
Tums have a oh boy.
Just because I figured you might have forgotten that.
Yeah, I totally forgot. Okay, cool. In that case, what do we take? Do we take one of the critically injured robots that I might have killed? Or do we take one of the humans? Yeah. Robot. Yep. All right. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna follow Jay's advice. I'm gonna grab one of the. Yeah. I mean, it's shitty, but it's a thing to do. Yeah. I'm gonna take a hostage.
Pat, right now your face. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make that attack roll. Again, they're not really moving, so don't roll a 1 and you should be fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's a 5.
Yeah, you grapple onto that robot that's damaged. And you're able to start reeling it in. Are you teleporting with the robot?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Gonna
cool.
try.
Yeah, you make it back to the
I-
Where to?
No, wait, no. Fuck, because I don't want. I don't necessarily want to take it back to the island. There's literally nowhere else that I could go to.
Yeah, you've got to go back to the island first before you can teleport somewhere else.
Oh. Well. I'm gonna do a real bad. I'm gonna ragdoll it for a second. And just like smash it on the ground a couple of times to make sure it's fucking dead. Because I bet there's some hardware in there that stores the memories. I bet hardware don't lie.
Okay. You can certainly try. Oddly enough, I'm going to say a might roll.
Okay.
Just because I don't
Just
know what
to
the
not
straight
tech
stats for this thing
every
would
time.
be. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
sure
feel like
thing.
this would like augment your own abilities.
Okay,
To
it's
some
just a
extent.
16.
it's not so much like a Hulk smash ragdolling as it is just dragging it across some rocks and sand while it flails around. You're not really damaging it that much, but you are causing it distress.
I don't want to take this thing back with us anymore. I made a mistake. I don't want to take this thing back.
You can let go of it, yeah, if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna just kick it or something, and then I'll teleport back. Just ruin its day. I do want to try to kick the shit out of it though. Like I want to kick the ever loving fuck out of it. Can I make another might roll?
Sure.
Just going right for the robot-y sternum. That's a 7. That's not great.
Yeah,
That's not 19.
That's a
whatever.
good solid kick. You're pretty much not going to be able to kill this thing without prolonged fighting.
We have now learned how difficult they are to kill, which is a great thing for us to know.
They're pretty dang sturdy. It'd be like a full-on fight to kill one. Yeah, you teleport away. And I was totally expecting you to grab a human. When you said, I grabbed the robot, I was like, oh, thank you. I was going to cause so many problems for you with that.
No, but then I was like, okay, well, human. But I was like, well, the humans have got the fucking microchips in them, so I can't really bring them back either. Like anything anything that I do, I'm taking somebody back with us. I'm going to compromise the location.
Yeah.
And so it would have been nice to walk out of there with its hard drives. That's really all I wanted from it. Yeah.
All right. Well, you're able to get back to the island, the teleporter room. The Tums have taken just cosmetic damage, and that's it. And you have an active nuclear reactor in the teleporter room.
What a busy day.
Does anybody want to ask what's his face? Just double check with them that they can't track their shit here.
The philosopher. Yeah, he's in the room with you.
Yeah, I think Tamsin would ask, but she's probably doing some.
Tamsin and me and Tamsin are still with the fridge, right? That will take a few hours.
Yeah, it'll take probably not a few hours, but it does take quite some time.
Mhm.
Maybe like an hour and a half to drive it back, and you're able to hook it up to the dock, essentially, so that it's secured to the island. Excuse me.
Now, if Wilfred was a clever bugger, he would have bugged the fridge.
I don't know that he's that clever.
Yeah, the problem with the fridge was the fact it's a pretty large chunk of metal that was sucked in the mud and the sand on the shallows. They might not even consider moving that we will move it.
That's true. That is very true. I don't think most people would consider that we'd move it. Okay. Yeah, I think obviously once we get back, Tamsin would come up and check out what happened. And she would kind of check in on the comms once in a while until they reply.
Does anyone ask the philosopher about the tracking stuff for Owen? Owen hasn't asked.
Sure. Or that seems like something Susie might be really interested in.
Mm.
Okay.
Seems like a Susie thing.
Sure, we'll say Susie asks. The philosopher goes on a long, very dry explanation of how tracking devices came to be in their culture and the nefarious things that the government used them for. Some of it sounds legit, some of it sounds like tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist type stuff.
Mm.
Takes about 15 minutes to get to the point and say that their bodies normally do. Theirs has been deactivated, of course. But confirms, like, yes, leaving the robot behind was the right choice, but the reactor probably doesn't have any kind of tracking on it.
You'd have to be some kind of paranoid to tag your own reactor.
Mhm.
Who's gonna run with a bunch of uranium? Nobody would do that.
Yeah, I mean, they might be that paranoid now,
Yeah.
but they weren't before.
I think
I think Tamsin will do a once over the reactor regardless, just in case there's any, anything wrong with it. She may not know, but if there's any tracking stuff on it, anything that looks like it's not supposed to be there.
we can also
Yeah.
scan it when we get
Mhm.
there, just to check if there are any emissions. But I think inside of the mountain, because we are inside of the mountain, I think
Yeah,
the emissions will be pretty well shielded. So
Yeah, it's a very well self-contained reactor. There's a spot where you can put in essentially fuel rods, but it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna grab this glowing green piece of metal and put it in there by hand. It's like it's got a little handle thing that grabs onto the rod and um, insulation material. There's no risk of getting like radiation poisoning if you do it properly.
I feel like it's a bit of The Martian as well, where it's like we're kind of more worried about long-term survival. If we end up getting cancer, we'll probably have gotten off the island by that point.
Yeah. And then you do notice it does say that it's starting to like build up power. Not that it's like in any immediate danger of an overload, but I think Tamsin, you've got enough knowledge of how this type of stuff works to know that like you probably should find out a way to turn it off or plug it into something that can take the power out of it, or it will eventually overload because
Right.
it was taken out of the thing that it was powering.
Right. Yeah. So I think that would be her first priority. Like, she's interested to hear what happened on the island, and she's glad everyone came back safe. She's also concerned about the robot thing being brought back potentially. But yeah, her first priority would be maybe taking the nuclear reactor to the dry dock, or wet dock, I should say, and the moon pool and everything, and just using it to power those. And then solar panels are a backup then. So kind of switching everything over to that.
Yeah, perfect. It powers them up no problem. And it looks like it could probably power that little bit of stuff probably near indefinitely.
Okay.
It's got a lot of potential energy.
Cool.
And those bits of base pieces and things don't use up that much power relatively to this.
Yeah, definitely we'll recharge the sub and the Tums, once everyone's out of them.
Yeah.
And then also probably hook up the fridge while she's at it, since we have that docked and kind of secure.
Okay.
If it doesn't have its own self-sustaining.
It does have its own sort of self-sustaining power generator, but you can...
You know what? I was gonna say I'd set that up as a backup just in case something goes wrong on the fridge itself, so we don't come out to like thawed people.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea considering how much it's been through.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to hook that up, no problem.
Cool.
So you've got the fridge secured. You've got it with essentially two different types of backup power, and you've kicked a hornet's nest. But definitely given them a pretty decent bloody nose in the process. And you learned how to make the Rylan metal.
Mm-hmm.
And you got your base all set up. What else would you like to do for this session? Keeping in mind that the next one is the finale.
Yeah.
I want to check and see if those, if the harpoon that they tried to shoot at us is magnetic at all.
It is not.
Okay.
Same as the houses and everything else. They're not really magnetic.
Okay.
Jason would definitely want to check the state of the pots. How many people are still frozen? How many people were unfrozen? Like, get the general logs of the fridge.
Right.
Gotcha.
Figured how many Wilford might have too.
And of course, the some prognosis for the next months. How are we doing on energy, health of the?
Yeah, like can they
people in
stay
the pots?
indefinitely?
Yeah, General
Yeah,
checkup of fridge.
Yeah, it's there's 500 pods total, and let's say there's about somewhere between like 50 and 30 pods that have been opened. So including, survivors that have popped out and then died to kraken vipers and other things. You can figure that Wilfred probably has 1 to 2 dozen people on the island.
Okay, not the hundreds we were worried about.
But the amount of
Yeah.
robots that he has, we're not sure.
Yeah, the robots are quite plentiful.
I think Tamsin would probably go over the weld jobs on the fridge that we had and just make sure that they're watertight now that we kind of got it back and stable.
Yeah, I think Luna will help you with that.
Cool. And honestly, while we're at it, maybe just close the whole thing off and make a door that we can lock to it.
You're able to do that as well.
Yeah.
Luna probably just ends up like pulling out the patches that were already there and redoing them.
That's
They were
that's
so
totally
bad.
fair.
My fault.
It's okay. None of us are trained to be welders.
Luna just gives Allison like a pat on the head, like it's okay.
Thank you!
Hey, thanks, Michael.
Thanks.
Michael gifted a sub to Econorlex. So, Econorlex, would you like to do 2d6 or give an advantage to someone? I think you muted there.
Indeed, I am. Sorry. We are closing to the final episode, so there will be some D6 probably
That's a good
needed
Yeah.
when we are
Good call.
going to the final destination of the large power plant on the bottom.
Speaking of that, that's kind of what Tamsin's next goal is. I don't know what the rest of the crew's plan has been, but now that we've got the fridge secured, Tamsin very much wants to rush getting to the power plant just in case, they manage to track the fridge or they find the island by chance. She'd rather know more before they get caught, kind of thing. So she feels
Okay.
like there's a time crunch.
I would definitely have
Bad.
shared with everybody, whatever details I looked over of whatever tracking hub they had set up on the beach. And that is apparently their goal number 1 on their list. They're not figuring out a way out. They're just trying to find us, or to find the island, not us. I don't think they give a shit about us before today.
Then we are preparing for war. TC is gonna stop for a little while and look at Owen and look at Susie and go, y'all did real good today. It was a real honor. Let's keep the streak going. And is gonna go to the shop and start prepping some shit to do some damage.
I think Tamsin would probably congratulate Susie as well. She's happy with everyone, but she's very much I'm glad that you're still alive, kind of thing.
Yeah, Alison would be very happy to see them in one piece too. That's obvious.
But yeah, Tamsin's pretty much dead set. Even if she has to go out there in a Tums by herself, if everyone else is focused on something else. But she wants to find the power plant because there's clearly more going on than just Wilfred and his shenanigans. And she's worried that they may already have the power plant.
Okay.
So it's kind of like what's everyone else thinking? I know TC is clearly going full gorilla, but
If the robots have the resources to help you build the large sub a few months ago, they could simply have built another. That's true.
But to get to the power plant, they would have needed, just to make sure we're talking about the same thing, the power plant's where they need someone fully organic, right?
Well, they have right now. The other
Mm-hmm.
people to mend the boat.
Well, I just assumed those people got infected on the way to the island, I guess. Or not infected, or, whatever. In nano.
Wilfordized.
Yes. Well, and I don't appreciate that.
So is it gonna like, right.
If you're not a fan of that, if you're not a fan of that, I do recall a way to get them out of you. Just TC screams from the workshop.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
He likes his special eyes.
Well, I believe the line of thinking was that someone needs to be able to read this alien shit for now, at least.
Actually, yeah. Sorry.
Well, and I think it'd be a hard sell to get you to give up that specialness. Last time we talked, at least.
I mean,
And I'm all for you keeping it. You've proven your worth, multiple times over. And Tamsin kind of looks Owen dead in the eyes, like, I trust you with this. I know I didn't before, but you had plenty of opportunities to use it against us.
yes, not that I would have, but I feel like it's not been that useful. Like, I feel like I've got some more permissions locked than Wilford probably did, because really all I've been able to do with it is see some shit occasionally. So yeah, I'm not that eager to hold on to it. I just thought it was still useful for one of us to have for the time being.
I can't see any of us willingly getting infected, so yeah. Sad.
But back to the power plant.
Mhm.
But I assume you want to turn off the shelter on the planet, right?
I would like to know how. I wouldn't do it right away, not until we're ready to leave. Because if I'm honest, I'd almost like a way to turn it off and then turn it back on again. Make a one-way or one-time exit. Because if we get out and they get out, we've basically just blown Pandora's box wide open.
Mm.
please tell me how nanobot robots aren't Pandora's box.
I mean, they're not that impressive, right?
Actually,
They could do a lot of cool shit, but it's not like the teleportation is common for them. That's only here on the island. And I mean, like,
Who's to say
I
they couldn't
think-
bring it with them?
I'm just saying, like, they're not invincible. They're not gods. Like, TC kind of kicked one's ass with just a bunch of rocks in the Tums.
I did also use a grenade.
And the grenade, but I mean,
I'm more worried about our trip home, because we're still like way out in the middle of nowhere, and if we make a rocket, it's got to last us long enough to get somewhere.
yeah, I guess I was just saying, I don't think that I know when we were still learning about them that the concern was them getting off of this planet meant they were like, I don't know, some sort of galaxy encompassing plague that was going to take over everything. And I don't
They're
think
definitely
that
still
impressive.
a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's space. There's how many problems out there, right?
Raven,
Probably a lot.
what did we actually learn about the original Rylon Society?
Like, are you wondering where it is, or?
No, like, what was the society that sentenced all those Rylons to the...
It was,
Oh,
it
it
was
was
an
like
empire, right?
a feudal kind of society.
So what? So
yeah.
if they are dangerous to the Earth, they are already roaming the galaxy. So
If
we don't.
if the society still exists, because
Oh.
everybody that's here was also sent here like thousands of years ago.
Thousands.
I mean, if that society is still around too, I've got to manage that on the list of societies they have a bone to grind with, the folks that locked them on this planet would probably be higher up than us.
Yeah, it's still just it's a risk. I'm worried about Wilfred, sharpening that axe of his over decades.
The problem is, once we turn it back on, let's consider the following scenario. We put it on a timer, or whatever, and it turns, or somebody turns it, who stays here turns it back on, and we are outside of the field's range and in the space.
Mm-hmm.
So now nobody will be able to land here in a way other than crashing.
Right. That's kind of what I'm suggesting is some way of reactivating it once we're out, because I mean it's there for a reason. It's not like there was a timer on their prison sentence and they could just head out of the planet once they were done.
What's the gravity well? Did that have to deal with their prison sentence? Because at least they were all like fleshy when they got here, so like the stuff to keep machines out wouldn't have been related to the prison itself. Maybe.
Well,
I mean, if
That's
you
a
want to
good
turn
point.
it back on, I mean, not everyone wants to leave. TC is going to stick around.
Right.
well, you would say that the anti-technology field would still kind of work, because if the control station is deep underwater, when they were still flesh, they would need submarines to get there, and blocking those access to the station would be the best way to secure it.
Tamsin's gonna look at the philosopher because something's just clicked in her head.
Okay.
And she kind of get their attention. Like, are you busy? Am I interrupting anything?
He's got so much to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
He just sort of nods to you very
Okay.
stoically.
There's an anti-technology field in a lot of these places, right?
He goes on about how the gravity well is meant to keep people in and keep people out, and et cetera, et cetera.
Right. So she kind of pointedly looks at the philosopher and not quite like jabs a finger at him, but kind of off to the side, just waggling a finger, like, you and your group were against technology. Did
They
your
nod.
people put those fields in place?
They shake their head and kind of get to the point a little bit quickly, but then as soon as they've gotten to the point, they continue on about the history of the Rylan people and why this is a prison planet and whatnot. But the bottom line is that the Rylan Empire put the gravity well in place and the anti-technology fields in place on the control center to prevent anyone from coming to the planet and rescuing anyone,
Right.
or them building a rocket and getting off the planet, or developing technology to come assault the
Right.
the facility.
Tamsin was more just kind of curious if this was something that wasn't common knowledge, whether these kind of Luddite monks had put this in place. Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, it was the Empire that put it there.
Okay.
Yeah, the philosophers' sort of religion and those followers actually were kind of okay with it.
I kind of figured, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think she'll radio TC just to get him in on the conversation. He doesn't have to come down, but just so he can hear what's going on.
Okay.
And she'll pose the question to him, if you're really dead set on staying here, would you be willing to turn the field back on once we leave? Zan?
Oh, that was directed to me. I thought that was
That
directed
was,
towards
yeah.
the philosopher. Oh, hell
No,
yeah.
towards TC.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 I would kind of be, I guess, what I expected to do. I don't really. I don't think that I'm high enough priority for them to want to come here just to check on me. But
Well, it's more to stop whoever's on the planet getting off than anyone coming to you.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I would, if this is where I'm gonna be, I like to be undisturbed, so yeah, I'll plan on turning back on.
Listen, TC, for what it's worth, I don't think anyone here is going to turn you in or talk about, where you ended up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of prefer if you did, I'll know I died doing something cool. Give me a bit of a legacy. Maybe something other than Bosco would prefer I be remembered for. And plus, nobody comes looking for a dead man. So
That's true.
I'm
I would
essentially
imagine
dead
Bosco
anyway.
to be really interested in the technologies this planet has to offer.
That's another problem too. One we can consider a bit more once we're ready to get off this planet, but I don't think we should really let Bosco know what happened here.
Why?
Tamsin kind of
mean-
gestures around to the teleportation room. If they're anything like what we know they are, they would come here, strip the tech out, probably not even care for the Rylands, and either make a deal with the robots or wipe them out. Some problems solved, bigger problems introduced.
Just imagine if someone reckless and immature had their hands on this kind of teleportation technology.
Who's not looking at Owen?
It's kind of a can't imagine who you'd be talking about. And she'll look at Allison like, I know you're very dedicated to the company, but
This is a lot of competition propaganda. I know there were some hard decisions made, the business, but I think you're demonizing them a little. I mean, where are you
if I'm honest, I don't want anyone on Earth or any of the other colonies knowing about this place. I don't know that I trust anyone that hasn't been through what we all went through to use this.
I know we disagree on Bosco itself, but there are more things to consider, like fates of all the people who didn't make it. Like, we can't just build a rocket, fly to Earth, and act like nothing happened. I mean, I don't think we can build a rocket and fly to Earth.
No, I don't think we're going to Earth, but we'll get somewhere we can reach out and hope to get rescued. But I mean, we'll bring as many of the cryopods as we can, all of them, ideally. I personally can't trust Bosco with this knowledge.
It's not ideal, but for what it's worth, if anybody did have to get left behind, I wouldn't leave them out here to fend for themselves. I'm not really a leader, but I'm not going to let anybody go without.
Don't sell yourself short.
They won't starve to death, at least as long as I'm here. If we can't get anyone out, it's not perfect for them.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, actually, we can't really leave those people with that this dude has swayed behind, just like that.
That's another issue too. And all of it's moot if we can't get off the planet in the first place.
What
Can we not leave them behind?
Tim shoots Owen a look of like we've been over this.
Sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
I mean, you found this brain vacuum device, right? You can like suck the nanites out of
I
them.
It's
You're
more
assuming-
of an off switch.
Yeah, you're assuming that their brainwashing into this cult is nanite based and not just Wilfred being charismatic. to
I
them.
didn't make such an assumption. I just care about removing or deactivating the nanites and undoing the normal brainwashing the normal way. Therapy. We simply can't leave them behind. We can put them in the pods.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea if we can figure out how to reactivate the pods. But again, if we can't get to the control room and the power, place, it's.
I mean, there are like next like additions to the possible plan, but the main steps are building a rocket and deactivating the field.
Yeah,
I'm just making the point that's a pretty significant addition to
it is. It's
immobilize
non-trivial.
every single one of his human followers
And deal
get
with the
them
robots.
to this facility, get them unnanited, get them into a pod then to freeze them so they could be deprogrammed once we get off planet, and all the while avoid the robots during that. It's aiming big is all I'll say.
I don't know. We have all this technology like TAMs and stasis rifles.
I think this is a lot of pontification that might be done. That might be better suited after we've secured a way to get off. Once we have a way to get off, then we can devote our time. Then we can spend the brain power on trying to figure out who's getting off.
I gotta say, I really just assumed they were working on a way to get off too, and not just.
I assume so too. But I mean,
I never got to know this Wilfred guy. If he's the leader of this group, what would be his goals?
Well, quite frankly, I think he's just found himself a planet-sized throne, and I don't know that he'd want to get off right away.
So I guess he's free to stay. But if he's like a cult leader, then these people are his victims. We just, what I think about it.
I do, and I hate to say that I agree with TC in so much that we have to get a rocket and we have to get some way to turn the field off, because if push comes to shove, Allison, and we can't save those people and they get on the island, we won't be able to stop them. We would either have to launch or we would die.
I think you did quite well. I look at Susie and Ticino and just fighting them, and I don't know. I know
quite well's good, but
Allison, I'm gonna be entirely honest with you. I went out there to kill them. I did not go out there to shoot them in the leg. I did not go out there to scare them. I went out there to kill them, because if they are dead, then they will not kill you, or Owen, or Luna, or any of us. When we're at a point to do negotiations, I look forward to that day. But the only reason we did fine is because we went there looking to kill. If we would have held back, they would not have.
I guess you're right.
There's a bit of an element of surprise there in them being disorganized from the boat happenings.
Mm-hmm.
And we still had to be in and out in like a minute. That wasn't like a sustained assault that we could have kept up.
Mercy is a luxury that we can't afford at the moment.
And honestly, we don't have the numbers. Even if we thawed every single person in the fridge and got them all up to snuff, I don't know. I think the loss of life trying to I'm not saying we won't do it. I'm not saying I don't want to save those people because they don't deserve to be under Wilfred's thumb. But if push comes to shove, I'm for leaving them behind if it means we save the majority of those people.
Of course.
I'll do everything I can, but I.
Okay,
Yeah.
there is one thing that makes me, well, say you're right, because if we do nothing, then the people still will die. The people that come in the rescue ship.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they hit the gravity well, they will crash land like we did, and, well, who's to say they will be as lucky as those people in the pods now.
We were barely lucky when we
Survived.
landed. Crew of hundreds of people, and 5 of us made it out. It's not good odds.
Yeah, so we need to go with the rocket plan on at least shutting down the gravity well. Not for us, but for them, for those people on the rescue ship too. So it's
We'll
bad
cross
either
that
way.
bridge when we comes to it.
It's
but-
bad either way.
Yeah.
Someone loses in this situation. We just have to try to make sure it's not us. But I think today's been a big day. I think tomorrow's going to be a bigger one.
Yeah.
So right now we still have anonymity on our side. They don't know where we are. We know where they are. They're not going to be able to. We've hampered them just by destroying their hardware, and we've given them a reason to be afraid on their own ground. So I don't think they'll be throwing numbers out in full force. If we wanted to send a raider out tomorrow, it might be the time for it. Probably out in groups of 1 to 2. If we get the element of surprise on them again, we could probably take them out and leave them a little weaker for the finale, if you will. I feel like things are escalating pretty quick.
I think you just said we shouldn't mess with them anymore earlier because they are careful now.
We have to be more careful in what we do. This was a surprise attack, and it was done with no planning and no organization.
Mm-hmm.
But now they have to consider us a legitimate threat, so they can't let all of their people go out and try to find us. They have to leave some fighters behind, and they are going to be sending people out to look. So if we pick somewhere that's the opposite direction between us and them, they'll assume that was the one that was the closest, and that was the first one that we found, and that'll be the one that needs to be investigated in that direction. A real common diversion tactic.
Question: Did Owen? What Owen got except the reactor and? Except the reactor.
Sorry. I thought was I able to heft one of those crossbows over?
Yeah, a harpoon and the propulsion gun.
So we have another propulsion gun.
Like ours?
Very
I think it was
Yeah.
heavier and more alien-y than ours.
heavier, but smaller and easier to hold, and otherwise does the same thing.
I misunderstood that. I thought you meant the propulsion under the island, like engine.
No, that's just a propulsion cannon.
Missed the word cannon.
No worries. So with that, we're at about 15 minutes over our normal time, so I think we can probably wrap it up here. But what was the consensus on what you're gonna do the next day? Was it go raid the other island, or start working on getting towards the power plant?
Ison vote will be definitely on power plant, because I don't think we need to go there anymore. There is no reason to go there. To the island, I mean.
Yeah, Tamsin's vote is power plant.
I think at least the parts of the island that we know about, Owen got a pretty good clocking of all the cool shit on the beach, and I think we grabbed it. So I'm not super keen to go back there, at least.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Then TC will set about double fortifying fucking everything and getting ready for this trip tomorrow to the power plant, I guess.
All right.
The question is, though, should we even go to the power plant before we have a rocket?
I mean, it would be better to know if it's under their control.
Okay, so like a scouting mission. Okay.
Yeah, not fully in, but at least know, where it is, what's around it. And she kind of really briefly brings up an image of what they'd seen from both, maybe the sub cameras still had something that we transferred, or sounds or something of that giant continent-sized Leviathan thing that we fought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wondering, if that's still around, because that's a whole different issue.
It's true. Although the island is in a different spot than it was when you found that.
That is
'Cause
true.
It's floated quite a distance away from that spot.
That is very true.
TC is gonna set about making a couple of basically scattershot ammunition pouches, just
Alright.
nails, spikes, broken things, and little flakes of phosphorus. So there's a little heat element to it when it hits.
Thanks for the raid.
Hey.
Baldalia coming in with a party of 6. Thank you.
Terrible idea. You could use the stuff and make it into thermite.
Could use the stuff and turn it into
We
thermite.
could talk about that another time.
Yeah, y'all won. I was over there at Baldalia's channel saying hey, I think we're gonna come raid.
Oh.
So it was a race to see who was gonna end first.
Well done, everyone. Well done.
Yeah, we had
But,
these moral issues. Should we raid and should we burn and should we pillage?
Yep.
That hold us back.
All right. Okay. And yeah, we can talk about building stuff for prepping just off camera over the next week. But yeah, it sounds like next session we'll start making the undersea journey to the power plant and see what happens. Finally getting back into the water after an entire season on land.
We spent some time in the water today too.
Okay, look, there was that 2 episodes where the water came to us.
Yeah.
It did rain a bunch.
That's true.
We have good reasons for not going in.
I know. I just think it's really funny. All right. Well, in that case, we'll do our wrap up. So I'm gonna let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them next, and or where online, and anything they want to share or plug. And we'll go reverse order from how we started. So Jay, we'll start with you. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find anything you want to share or plug?
Hello, everyone. I've been Jay, or Alien Jays. You can find me on Twitter and itch.io at Alien Jays. Yeah, this was a fantastic episode. We got to delve into, some moral issues, some less than moral issues, and I honestly, I know Pat's gonna say it as well, but I think my favorite parts were the Owen parts. It's watching Owen go from I'm gonna sneak in to I'm gonna just teleport my mech suit on top of this guy's boat was just chef's kiss. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome of that, because I'm like, oh, maybe we'll swim under and put a bomb on it. Maybe we'll go up and ambush them. No, we'll just drop just a mech suit on them. Perfect. Just absolutely perfect. As well, the fact that nobody died. I was actually pretty worried about Susie. So the fact that all that kind of went off without too many hitches was really good. And I'm very happy that we had a very large net gain today, which is not something we get very often in this game. So I'm very pleased about that. Yeah, where you can find me next will be on the penultimate episode of Animus Absentus, which is Saturday, 6 Mountain Time. That's going to be a trip. And otherwise, for anyone in here who hasn't applied for it or hasn't heard about it, I am currently in my second wave of Afterburner playtest system I made. It's essentially racing really fast around absurd tracks, and it's all very rules light because it's much more about the ridiculous stories you can tell in it. So check out my Twitter for that. I'll throw a link in the chat for it, and the playtest application is there. The deadline is tomorrow evening, so if you're interested, kind of now's the time.
I can say I got to do the first round of playtest. It's a lot of fun. You should definitely sign up for it if you like having fun, weird, wacky racing stuff. It's a blast. Next, Econorlax, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share, plug?
My favorite part was Wilfred's return. I mean, I kind of repeat after Jay what they said that the Owen's part was the best, but I wanted to focus on this particular moment when Owen was discussing with Wilfred their past and their current relations, and Wilfred just pushing Owen's suit off the boat and sealing boat's demise this way, because Owen turned out to be weighing them down. But the exchange, the part I precisely wanted to mention here is the exchange between you. All the puns from Wilfred.
I think Wilfred's got a little more unhinged.
It sounded like this. Yeah, more mania.
Yeah, there's nobody to keep him in check now. It's just he's right.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite part. What I would like to plug, definitely Jay's game. To say it was fun, it's to do it disservice, because it was mad fun. Unhinged fun, untamed fun. I really do recommend everybody giving it a try.
Y'all got me blushing over here.
It's really good. It is a lot of fun. I can't wait.
And yeah, I'm Econorlax, and you can find me on my own channel probably during this week. Somewhere I will be doing probably late evening streams for a few next days, if I'm going to. That's all. Thanks for the game today.
Awesome. Pat, same questions. Favorite part? Where can people find you? Anything you want to share? Plug.
Yeah, favorite part. I mean, Econorlax already covered the puns with Wilfred. I was just getting knocked down by them myself. That was great. So I think besides that, just seeing all the cool shit that everybody made, especially the fucking just getting to unleash TC's arsenal today, and Tamsin discovering thermite. Those were we didn't get to use the thermite yet, but that was all just great. Just there's a hole through the island.
Okay, hole through the island was good too.
Totally forgot about that part.
I'm so glad you didn't roll a nat 1 on that whole thing, because that would have been so bad.
It's an escape chute, Raven. It's not a mistake. It's an escape chute.
It's a happy little accident.
Yeah, I'm Pat. I'm Attactric on Twitter and Twitch and places online. Thing I'm excited to hype about is our Urban Shadows campaign that we're running Sunday nights on my channel. Zan is in it. Other great people are in it. We started this last Sunday. premiere with we ran with like half of our crew, and the rest of the group should be joining us this week, and it is a lot of fun in our fictional Florida shit show city.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
All right. So next we got Zan. Same questions. Favorite part. Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share? Plug.
Yeah, favorite part. I mean, Pat kind of hit on this a little bit, but I really actually, I think my favorite part of our session this week might have actually been like our attempt at planning this session, because we spent a fair chunk of time attempting to plan, and we didn't really do that much planning. We got the core organizations down. It was really nice to like hear all of the time that we spent like trying to piece together this environment. It was really nice to hear the concise summary of that, and then just immediately abandon all the plans that we had because oh fuck, there's Wilfred. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And yeah, no, I'm Xan, or Xanity TTRPG, where you can find me on most places. I'm a professional DM and content creator for 5e World of Darkness, powered by the Apocalypse, and a whole bunch of other really cool games out there. You can also catch me here over on the Black Feather Guild, or over on Tactric's channel. Like he said, we're doing the cool Urban Shadows game, and that's a super big lot of fun. I'm playing a psychic vampire that is a heal that literally feeds from people's negative emotions towards him. So he's a little bit of a difficult character to work with. Who would have thought, me playing a difficult character? Additionally, I've just done a Kickstarter, and it is super good. We've already been more than fully funded, and it's absolutely fantastic. You should check that out. You can find it on my Twitter. I'll post that. Try to post that again tonight. Oh yeah, just come hang out on my stream sometime too. I'm probably this week I'm gonna try to do another character and class build, which was like a fun little 2-hour adventure last time. We built a weird character using Hero Forge and built a class archetype from the ground up for them to be played in. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's my whole shit. I'm gonna stop talking. I talk way too fucking much. Damn it, Raven, why don't you cut me off? Jesus, why am I still not muted?
You're fine. Love hearing about all this stuff. Yeah, that just leads me to my favorite part. It's hard to pick just one. I really enjoyed getting to hear Zan, you doing the Wilfred voice again. That was just creepy and in a fun way. And our raid cry, of course, from that is the Bayou. Which is in chat there. I also really enjoyed the thermite thing, because I didn't know if that was going to be here's a funny little thing that happens, or this was a disaster that just blew up in your face, depending on the role. But everything else was really fun too. It was fun watching you all plan and plot things out, and you kind of stuck to the plan mostly. You just had some, addendums to it. But yeah, the whole thing was just fantastic. I really enjoyed everything that happened. Where you can find me next, I'll be back here tomorrow at the same time. Well, a little bit earlier, since we started late today. 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Exodus, where I'll be playing Niklaus Sebastian Adama, who's sort of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type character, with both personalities being villains. We're just not the villain of the show. It's a lot of fun. The Mr. Hyde character kind of has a Mark Hamill's Joker quality to the voice, which is a lot of fun to voice act out. And we're in the middle of a heist that I think is gonna go not well. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. And then other things to share or plug. So sponsors, which I've got in chat here, are Fundamental RPG. Looks like this. That's what the system that this show is built on. This campaign. You can get a physical copy at Amazon. Just look up Fundamental RPG or Raven Evermore. It should pop right up. Or you can get a PDF copy at coffee.com/raven/shop. Just like it says in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, just add /shop to the end of that. And you can also pick up free character sheets there as well. There's a printable version that you can get, or a form fillable one. Either one are both there. And then Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life. So if you like apparel or accessories with a tabletop theme, it's some pretty cool stuff. I'm working on adding more things into that line here very shortly as well, including coffee mugs, which is the next thing that'll be released, I hope soon. And you can find that in the same place, coffee.com/raven/shop. Other things to share are casting signups for we've got a Saturday day show, so 12 p.m. Mountain Time, that's running from May through August. Which is Necropunk, which is a really cool new system that's out. It's on, or it's not even out yet. It's on Kickstarter. Weave the Tale, or Penny for a Tale rather, from Weave the Tale. Is going to be jamming that. It's going to be really cool. We've still got a couple of signups left for that one. So there is a sign-up form on my Twitter somewhere. Yep.
Raven, may I interject?
Sure.
The name of the game was changed in the meantime.
Oh, was
It's
it?
marketed as Necrobiot.
Oh, okay. Well, that one then. I'll have to fix that on the form. But there's a form on Twitter where you can fill that out. If you just look up mine, it's right below my face here. Or DM me on Twitter, and I can get you the info. But yeah, aside from that, I think that's everything. So we're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna go raid. Actually, Weave the Tale right now. They're playing. Looks like a really cool tabletop game over there. So give them a follow if you're not doing so already, because it's a cool place. A lot of nice people over there. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye.